Welcome inside the Sudbury Community Arena for the Sudbury Five's third ever home game. They take on the St. John Riptide, a team that is 0-5. The Sudbury Five are 4-1 on the season. I'm Nick Liard, joined by Alex Gunn. What are you expecting from the St. John Riptide tonight, Alex?
Well, hopefully for our sake, not a lot. They're currently 0-5 on the year, so as long as Sudbury 5 comes out and plays the way they usually have been, then we should be able to take care of business.
Yeah, the Sudbury Five, they haven't played since the December 1st, so last Saturday, a game where they came back and beat the Windsor Express. They've dropped in the power rankings to number 3, but it's not because of the way that they played. It's some other teams that are playing out of this world. I think the Moncton Magic are 7-0 on the season, so they've been more than hot. The Sudbury Five, though, they are being led by some high firepower in a lot of statistical categories. Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson, the top 2 scorers in the entire league.
Yeah, they've been hitting really well from deep lately, and they've been kind of mixing it up, doing a bit of everything. Their percentages haven't exactly been the greatest in the last couple games, but they're still getting the points up based on drives and being fouled, free throws, and you know, the occasional deep three from either one of them.
And Braylon Rayson with 28 points, 12 assists in the last game, the win over the Windsor Express. Those Windsor Express will be in town on Sunday for a game as well. It's a busy weekend here in Greater Sudbury with a couple 5 games, a couple Wolves games, and there is a bit of a delay. We want to let you know. It's supposed to start at 7:05, but we're going to start around 7:15 because of the collision that happened on Highway 69. Delayed some of the people, some of the refs from getting here, so there is a bit of a delay. We're going to take you right up into game time. Speaking of another leader in statistical categories, Grandy Glaze, who has been coming off the bench for the Sudbury Five this season, is the league leader in rebounds.
Yeah, he's in, when it comes to rebounds too, it's purely just grit and determination. You got to go after the ball, and he's clearly one of the best in the league at doing that.
And yeah, Grandy Glaze averaging about 11 points a game, 11.3 rebounds a game. There's a couple other players who are stepping up for this 4-1 team. We talked about the 2 scorers, the backcourt, the leading duo, but Travis Relaford is really finding his footing in this league and is really contributing 15.3 points a game. That third option in his scoring we saw against the last game in the Windsor Express, hitting a couple threes when they needed it most.
Yeah, and you really need that third scoring punch, and especially if he's coming off the bench, then it really just stabilizes the whole game for the team. But I also wanted to mention Braylon. He's top 4 in the league currently in assists as well as leading the league in scoring. So he's really been doing everything out there.
And we saw it down the stretch just how clutch he was, not only scoring, but facilitating those little drop passes when he would drive into the middle, dropping it off to his big man down low, and they were able to finish and pick up some key fouls down the stretch against the Express, putting them in foul trouble, allowing them to claw back. They had trailed by double digits in that game, and it's a theme that the Sudbury Five are kind of getting used to. You don't want to get used to those comeback wins, but they are pulling it out when needed most down the stretch in the 4th quarter. So we're going to actually 7:08 start. So random time, yes, but that's the time that we are going to start the game. So in about 2 minutes, the tip-off will happen here in Greater Sudbury. The starting lineups, we'll take a look at those. One change for your starting lineup, the Sudbury Five. So it's going to be Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson, Cory Dixon, and Travis Relaford. Those are the normal starters. Adam Blazek is going to start at the 3 in place of George Soares, who had been starting the last couple games. On the other side, familiar name for sure, Chris Earley, Brent Arrington, Frank Bartley, Jeremiah Morty, and Walter Pitchford will get the start for the Riptide. Walter Pitchford was traded from the Sudbury Five to the Riptide for the rights to Alex Superman Johnson. They're thinking that he may end up playing. He's playing, I think, in Ecuador right now. He's a Canadian player, so they have the rights to him. He's not suited up for the team, but Walter Pitchford on the other side is playing for the Riptide.
Yeah, and it is a bit of a loss, you know, like he had a couple good moments with us, but anytime you can go ahead and pick up a player like Alex Superman, as you stated, it's a gamble you got to take, and with everyone else playing so well, it seems like the correct decision to do.
Yeah, Pitchford, he was at times, you know, the 7th, 8th man, but had fallen further into the bench role for this team, so they're able to pick up. They like the rotation that they're going with, and that's so huge in basketball. If you can find that 8-man rotation that's really working for you, you can really go a long way, and Pitchford had seemed like he had fallen out of that rotation, gets an opportunity now to go to St. John and start for them.
Yeah, and really, we just turned what was an asset into what could potentially be a better asset, depending on whether he does come here or when he does come here. But it seems like a great decision to me.
And obviously having a winning team really helps that recruiting for a guy like Alex Johnson. You know, you come in, maybe he thinks, well, okay, I'll come in and help them down the stretch for the playoff push. So that's definitely a recruiting tool. Just a little bit of history on St. John. They were actually established in 2007, this team. They played in the United States side. And so they moved to St. John in 2010. They were named the Mill Rats, and then in 2016 they were renamed the Riptide, which I think is a much better name.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the name Riptide. I just really like it. It symbolizes a lot of energy, you know, and that's something you would hope that your team's going to be displaying.
So a couple big players to look out for. Chris Earley, as I mentioned, Brett Arrington, Frank Bartley as well. We'll have more on them during the broadcast. A guy coming off the bench, Daniel Dingle, and Kemi Ossie as well. A Canadian from Montreal will be pulling the weight for this Riptide team. As we mentioned, they are 0-5 on the season. The Sudbury 5 are 4-1. We'll take you down to court level right now as we're getting ready for the starting lineups. The Sudbury 5 will play the Windsor Express again this weekend. This will be the fourth matchup between the two teams this season. So you're getting to know them quite well, and it's a Sunday afternoon game.
I really like how we play them that often, though, because it helps build kind of rivalries, you know?
Yeah.
The more you play a team, the more you get to know the nuances of how they like to do things, and the better chances you have at defending them.
So just a little bit on Alex Johnson as well. Was playing in Ecuador this season. As we mentioned, nicknamed Alex Superman Johnson. He was the first Canadian to be drafted first overall in the National Basketball League of Canada. In 2014, he played a number of seasons in the league. Mississauga, St. John, Halifax, Windsor, St. John's as well. Yes, there is two St. John's and St. John's. One Newfoundland, this one here from New Brunswick. And he actually played in the G League with the Grand Rapids Drive in 2016-2017. So you're going to hear a lot of the G League references as well. There's a couple players from the Riptide who made appearances in the NBA G League in the past couple seasons. So there is, despite the record, the coaches were talking before the game that, you know, we're not taking this team lightly. And that's exactly, I mean, these players, they're all professional. And we see it in the NBA often, you know, in college basketball as well. Any team has the talent to beat any team on any given night.
Absolutely, and it depends. Whoever has the hot hand, you know, and sometimes teams, whether it's the last place team in the league, they can just get hot one night, and all of a sudden, just you're looking at a score where you're behind. So you can't really take any of these players lightly.
And we mentioned the one change to the lineup, or the starting lineup for the Sudbury 5. Adam Blazek will make the start for the Sudbury 5 as they are introducing the starting lineups right now. And Adam Blazek from Erie, Pennsylvania, went to Gannon University where he spent all 4 seasons. Logan Stutch, the head coach as well, doing a great job at making adjustments down the stretch in the last couple games.
Yeah, he really has. Logan's he's a great coach. We're really lucky to have him because I find he really utilizes the talents that his players has. And he knows where they like to get the ball, and he inputs that into their offensive sets. But not only that, his defensive schemes have been really paying off as of late. I expect to see the same kind of outcome and defensive effort from his team tonight.
A couple players, well, coach Kyle Beers was not on the bench. Last game against the Windsor Express was dealing with a bug, an illness as well. Antoine Chandler was out with the similar illness, probably same restaurant they went to. And so they're back on the bench. Both player and coach are back on the bench. And we're getting ready to get this tip-off underway. As I mentioned, this is a busy weekend. The Sudbury Wolves take on the Barrie Colts tomorrow night, and the Guelph Storm are in town on Saturday. And then you change the ice back to court, and the Windsor Express are in town. Part of 8 home games in December. This one, the second one. And we'll just take a quick break down to court side where the national anthem, the American national anthem first, and the Canadian second. A great job there on both national anthems, the American and Canadian. And we are getting ready for first quarter action as they introduce the starting lineups for both teams. We'll go over them once again. Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson, Adam Blazek, Cory Dixon, and Travis Relaford making the start for the Sudbury Five. On the other side, Chris Earley, Brent Arrington, Frank Bartley, Jeremiah Morty, and Walter Pitchford getting the call for the visiting Riptide. The Riptide's last game, 109-95 against the London Lightning on November 29th. Both teams well rested. The 29th, the last game for the Riptide, and the Fives' last game, December 5th. So a good week of practice for both teams. And heading into the weekend, and we're getting a lot of weekend games as the rest of the month goes along.
Yeah, you mentioned Chris early there. We're going to have to really keep a close eye on him on the defensive end. He scored 25 points last game, so he can really put them up there.
Yeah, Chris Earley is a standout at Chattanooga. Played 5 games for the Riptide in 2016-17. And is back. He's averaging over 16 points a game, and you mentioned it, that 25 points a game. In the loss to the London Lightning.
And then, of course, you got to watch out for Daniel Dingle off the bench. He had 22 last game, so he's another one that can really put the ball in the hoop.
Very effective as well, I think on 7 of 10 shooting, so he can knock him down for sure. And we said it earlier in the broadcast, but Jalen Bland and Braylon Rayson have been absolutely lights out, amazing this season. The top 2 scorers in the league are the backcourt for the Sudbury Five. Rayson, the facilitator, and Bland, the guy who will knock down those clutch shots when you need it. A clutch and 1-3 in the past game as they made a run down the stretch, coming back from 10 points down in the 4th quarter.
What a luxury to have for Coach Stutz, too. You know, I would think we have the best backcourt in the league currently, you know, with Braylon being 4th in the league in assists and leading the league in scoring, and then the top 2 scorers in the league really at the current time.
And you know, on that note, it's amazing that those 2 players have started off so well. But there's the depth to this team, and we had been talking about it as well. You know, you're not going to get the 25-point effort every single night from Bland and Rayson. But those, you know, the 3rd and 4th option, having Grandy Glaze, Cory Dixon has stepped up nice, 10 points in a key role, and Travis Relaford, those other options that can, you know, players who go down low in the post and can score around the rim are huge when the shots aren't falling from the outside.
Yeah, absolutely, and Relaford's really been picking it up scoring lately. But with Grandy Glaze, like, the fact that he's coming off the bench and leading the league in rebounding shows you exactly how deep this team really is.
So Walter Pitchford played a couple games for the Sudbury Five before being traded to the St. John Riptide. Number 35 out there will take the jump. Went to the University of Florida, University of Nebraska, 2 pretty big schools, and Raptors fans kind of familiar. He ended up playing or signing a contract with the Raptors 905, retired from professional basketball shortly after, just played a couple games for them, but then decided to make a comeback, played overseas, and then was acquired to the Sudbury Five from the Moncton Magic before the season got underway. Now making the start for the Riptide. And so it'll be Walter Pitchford talking to a few of his ex-teammates. Went through training camp together, and then the first couple games of the season in practice, he'll be up against Cory Dixon taking the jump for the Sudbury Five. Again, we're delayed a little bit because of the collision on Highway 69 that happened earlier today. That's why we're starting a little bit later than the usual 7:05 start, and we are underway here in Sudbury. It's Brent Arrington with the ball. Over to Jeremiah Morty. Down low to Chris Earley. 25 points. Nice dump off pass there to Pitchford, and he throws it down. Backside help got caught looking there for the Sudbury 5, and it's 2-0 Earley. Relaford up top to Braylon Rayson. Down low on the right block to Cory Dixon. Dixon makes a move, takes a step in, goes up and over top, and that's exactly what we're talking about. That fourth and fifth option scoring, and Cory Dixon's been putting the ball in the hoop. Adam Blazek gets the start for the Sudbury 5. He's guarding Brent Arrington right now. Out to Pitchford, who takes a three. No doubt wants to prove his worth to his former team. Nice rebound there from Jalen Bland. Bland to Blazek. We got the one-on-one ISO, gets a screen up high from Dixon. Smaller line out up there for the Sudbury 5. Rayson with 8 on the clock takes a shot. That one goes off. The Riptide out of bounds 5 ball. We're getting used to those deep threes from both Rayson and Bland this season.
Yeah, they can connect on them too, so why not keep shooting them? That one he just seemed a bit long on, but he continues to make them game after game.
And 3 is worth more than 2, so if he knocks him down like Bland takes a shot here, he is short. Bland had a tough time in the last game getting started in the first and second quarter, really came on in the latter half of the game. Pitchford with the up fake, the step back, that one a 3. They call it a 2, foot on the line.
You always worry about that when a player's been traded and he comes back and plays his home team. They tend to elevate their game quite a bit.
Well, you know, he was thinking about it the whole ride to Sudbury, playing his former team, and just crazy how it happens. You know, the schedule makers and the powers that be, he gets traded the very next game. It's the team that he used to play for is on the schedule.
Yeah, and as a player, you know, that feels like you want to get revenge on the team that did let you go, but he's going to have a better opportunity on his current team now. So,
and that's exactly it. It is a better opportunity, a business decision, but still, you want to prove that worth. Like, you know what, you should have been keeping me around, and so far, he's doing a pretty good job. There's Travis Relaford, number 24, taking it right to the cup, finishing nice with the left hand high off the glass. Arrington over half court. Blazek, good defense on him. Pitchford being guarded, has a couple inches on Dixon. There's the shot up. Nice finish there by Chris Earley.
It was great D on Dixon there. Just
better offense.
Yeah.
And a shot that goes up, and they're going to count it. They will count it. It looked like there was a foul near the basket. They're going to count that basket. And the foul will be to Cory Dixon. So the shot was up in the air. That's what happens. If the shot leaves the hand and the foul's committed, they do count the basket and move on with the play. The foul was against the Sudbury 5. So 7-6 early in the first quarter. Arrington out to Earley. Nice shot there by number 0. Knocking it down. Rayson takes it right to the cup, catches the defense sleeping a little bit. Number 5 goes all the way and responds 9-9 after that 3 from Earley.
Yeah, with them not having a lot of scoring options on the team, we might even want to consider just face guarding Earley here.
A nice take there. A layup is missed by Frank Bartley. Jalen Bland out to Rayson, gets it to Blazek. Blazek, the left hand, is a little bit short. Good ball movement there by the Sudbury 5. Just missed is Jeremiah Morty with the ball. He'll take a 3. That one long. Rebound goes to Bland. Bland up to Rayson on the right side. He pulls up from way downtown. And arguing that it was tipped. The ref says otherwise. And it will be Riptide ball. 8:30 left to go in the first quarter. 9-9. And just one foul committed to the Sudbury 5. Adam Blazek picking up full court.
Loving the pressure there from Blazek.
And Chris Earley has it up top, has hit a couple of shots. Pitchford again going for that step back. That one's going to be short. Good defense there by Cory Dixon. Didn't allow him to get his shot off. There's Blazek on the left side, takes it. That one's going to be a kick ball off Pitchford's foot. Trying to find Rayson in the corner.
Blazek might have earned himself these starting minutes based on his defense because he's been putting on full court pressure every time here.
They had been going and turning to him later in the game for that exact reason. I mean, he can finish on the offensive side, but the defense is his specialty. Rayson had Relaford up top, goes inside to Dixon. He's double teamed, and Stolen will have Dixon picking up his second foul of the game.
I don't like that call there very much. Both teams were hitting each other's arms on that one. I'd rather the refs just let it play.
So the first sub is made as 2 fouls to Dixon means Grandy Glaze comes in for the Sudbury 5, the league leader in rebounds per game with 11.3. He's also averaging double digits in scoring at 11 points a game. And he'll guard Walter Pitchford. And Bland gets the rebound there. He goes over half, has some room, thought about the shot for a second. He pulls it down. Now he takes it. That one's going to be long, and there's Grandy Glaze in, trying to fight it. Nice move there by Chris Earley. Finds Morty. Inside, nice passing play there by the Riptide. Chris Earley can't finish, and Bland is able to pick it up. The 5 got lucky there.
Yeah, it was a great slip and a great pass, but luckily our defense came flying down on him, and he wasn't able to finish the shot.
Rayson is unable to make that one, and we're going to have a foul to Blazek, who stops the play. It was a 4-on-1. And Braylon Rayson went in for the layup, didn't get the foul call. We'll have a couple of subs coming in. Blazek and Relaford out. George Suarez and Devin Gilligan in for the Sudbury 5. Obviously, George Suarez gets a nice round of applause. The Laurentian women's basketball team is in attendance. George Suarez is helping out coaching them this season. At the same time, born in Sudbury, went to College Notre Dame, and also played at Laurentian University. So good connection there. The Laurentian women's coach, Jason Hurley, also in attendance, doing a good job with that team this season. Right to the cup, and a nice finish there by Frank Bartley.
One of those broken plays that always upsets the coach and the fans. Just a lucky bounce, and they get a layup.
And Gilligan with a nice spin back to the strong hand, and he'll head to the line for 2 free throws. And the first sub coming for the Riptide as Earley will leave the game. And in comes Daniel Dingle. We talked about 22 points off the bench for Dingle. Gilligan knocks down the first. And the second also falls, tying this one up at 11 with 6:53 left to go in the first quarter. And Brent Arrington over the timeline gets a screen up there from Pitchford, takes it all the way. Looked like a bit of a travel. No foul call. Suarez coming in. He's going to take the shot. He gets blocked. And perhaps Gilligan should have let it go as it was blocked off of the Riptide player. Gilligan tried to get the save.
Yeah, I thought it had landed on the out-of-bounds line already prior to when he touched it, so I'm not sure why it's not Sudbury 5's ball.
11-11, 6:30 left to go in the first quarter. Arrington up top, lots of room, and he knocks it down with ease.
Yeah, these players are too good. You can't leave them that wide open.
Gilligan, there's a 5-4-3 as he knocks it down from the left side, responding, and Gilligan has been able to hit those threes. He's been clutching. Again, Arrington. They go under the screen. Arrington gets an open look. He's not able to knock it down, and Grandy Glaze to Jalen Bland. Bland misses that one left. Nice job getting his own rebound and has it stolen away. That one, a bad pass from number 23, Morty, goes out of bounds. Well, that's so huge in a shooter. Oftentimes you see that shot go up and you're kind of watching it. You're fading back. But Bland does the opposite. He goes right after it as we have our first timeout. It's going to be a TV timeout at the 6-minute mark. If there's no timeout called, for a stoppage in play, they go to a TV or referee timeout. So 14-14, what do you think of the start so far, Alex?
I like it. Both teams seem to be playing fairly well. You know, the offense is doing pretty good as well. I'm not sure what field goal percentage we're currently shooting, but the defense is really what's keeping us in this game at the moment.
For the most part, you know, we saw a couple broken plays, as you were saying, a couple open threes that the Riptide were able to knock down. Obviously, these guys are professionals. You give them open looks, doesn't matter if they're 0-5 or 4-1, they're going to knock them down. And Arrington's done a pretty good job. Chris Earley as well, who is now not on the floor for the Riptide, has knocked down 3 as well. Devin Gilligan, the 3 for the Sudbury 5 recently, tied this one up at 14. The Sudbury 5 of 3 fouls. The Riptide with just 1 in the first quarter. We get a look. And that is the Laurentian women's team. You just saw them on the screen there. Taking in the game.
You know, you were talking about that in the last play there before the turnover. It's one thing coaches always stress a lot when you're growing up and you're a youth player. You got to follow your shot every time you shoot it. Whether you think it's going in or not, you follow it, because a lot of times that rebound's going to come back long to you, and then you're able to scoop it up and not lose the possession.
Well, oftentimes, you know what you, especially in youth basketball, you can't teach hustle. You can teach the players some certain skills. You can teach them to hit those threes, finish those layups, but those hustle, if coaches see someone hustle as Bland takes a 3, knocks it down. But if they see that hustle, you're going to get those extra minutes that maybe you wouldn't get if you kind of fall back on that 3 and let the rebound go out of bounds. Bland gives them the 3-point lead there as they get the ball up top. It's Arrington leading the way. Nice job there by Ceres. He's on the break, goes right to the hoop, tries to throw it down. Arrington gets back, fouls Ceres. But a great job there using his length. Ceres with the long arms is able to get the piece of the pass, go coast to coast, and draw that foul. So he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, great hands on defense there to be able to pick that off and sprint down the court like that.
And George is a perfect example. He's the kind of guy, he's going to go out there, play defense. The points will come. Those are bonus at that point. He's a guy who's going to come in, he's going to give you defense, and he's going to give you hustle, and those are going to earn him. We've seen it earn him a starting position on this team for a couple of games, at least 3 of the games so far, and he's getting, you know, one of the first positions off the bench because of that attitude in practice, because of that attitude on the floor. As Ceres knocks down shot number 1. Number 2 also rattles in and falls for the Sudbury native. And they're picking up full court now. Ceres up on Arrington, not allowing him any room. He's hit a couple 3s so far, so you want to limit him to those opportunities where he gets the screen up top. Number 12 is Kemiasi, and that shot is way off from the 5, or from the Riptide. Ceres up top, there's a shot, passes it off, and he knocks it down.
Sudbury 5 starting to open it up here with a 22-14 lead. Currently on an 8-0 run.
It's Antoine Chandler in the game, knocking down his first look and opportunity. Antoine Chandler missed the last game with an illness. He's out there playing good defense on Kemiasi, who misses the shot, and back the other way, the Sudbury 5 out and running. Devin Gilligan out of bounds. They teach you to touch the tees in minor basketball, but not touch the other team's bench.
Yeah, that's usually a pretty good game plan.
So the first of 2 home games going the Sudbury 5 way so far in this first quarter. Still plenty of time left, about 4:20 left on the clock, all the way to the rim. And that one hits back iron and out. Arrington going all the way. Or sorry, Marvin Binney.
I would have really liked to see Williams swing the ball there to Georges. He was wide open on the left side of the 3-point line.
That was Dexter Williams Jr. with the take. The guard was in position the entire time for the charge. Easy call for the ref. Exactly, a little jump stop, kick out, and you have an open extra pass. The Dexter Williams playing the defense. And down low, the left-handed hook, that one falls in there for Randy Phillips.
Yeah, he went up really strong with that. It was great defense by Glaze, but he just got the roll in.
Ball up top. It's Antoine Chandler to Devin Gilligan, getting the screen from Grandy Glaze. Gilligan right to the basket. Nice pass off. Ceres with the up fake, and he finishes for two. George Ceres, 4 points already.
It's those hustle plays, just being in the right place at the right time. He was able to pick up that rebound and put it in.
A great pass there by Gilligan, drew 3 defenders. That one knocked down by Daniel Dingle. Dexter Williams over half. Gilligan to Grandy Glaze, slows it down. Now he makes his move, spin move. Nice pass there by Dexter Williams Jr. Slips through the hands of Grandy Glaze.
I like the effort on that one. He just wasn't able to keep his hands on the ball. Sometimes you get a bit excited and you look up before the ball gets to you.
Yeah, those are the my bad plays. Number 6 there for the Riptide is Marvin Binney. He takes the ball over half. Pitchford back out there for the 5, and Alexander Henry as well. He picks up his first foul in first minute of action, going up against big Randy Phillips.
It was a good foul. He lost his man there for just half a second, and he was able to get down low, which would have been an easy 2. But you might as well send him to the foul line at that point.
Randy Phillips misses shot number 1.
And the foul's looking even better.
Randy Phillips knocks down 1 of 2. It's 24-19, 2:40 left to go in quarter number 1 here in Greater Sudbury. Pitchford to Antoine Chandler. Has a nice pass in there to Dexter Williams Jr. Tries to find Ceres. He does. It's a 2. That one's short over the back. Alexander Henry picks up foul number 2.
Well, they're certainly not taking them lightly. They're still playing full court defense here. It's great to see.
And that's going to be huge come fourth quarter time, making them, dribble it out, expend that effort all the way up the court. Gets it inside. Randy Phillips trying to go to work again. The double and triple team comes. It's out in the corner. That shot is missed, but the rebound is picked up. Frank Bartley again for the 3. He went short on the first shot, long on the second. If he had a third, he probably would have hit it. But no third shot for the Riptide. And back the other way, the Sudbury 5. They're setting up a play. Chandler up top, gets a screen from Henry. Chandler to Relaford. Relaford with a crossover, couple crossovers, is forced to pick it up. Nice job there off the 1-foot shot by Relaford. He knocks it down, making something out of pretty much nothing there.
I'm surprised he was able to gather the ball on that one. It was falling out of his hands as he had 2 players reaching in on him.
Daniel Dingle, the shot, he almost gets it back from laying down up to Relaford. Goes on the reverse, and Relaford knocks it down. Sudbury 5, nice little run. They're up 28-19.
Nice little up and under there for Relaford, adding some style points.
We got Marvin Binney up top, gets it into Bartley. Bartley the foul, and 1, count it. The foul looked like it was Alexander Henry once again, and that, if it is Alexander Henry, that'll be his 3rd. And Frank Bartley heads to the line. This St. John Riptide team has some pretty good young talent around, 24, 25-year-old mark. And Frank Bartley is definitely one of them. He was the recipient of the Pete Maravich Memorial Award. So anytime you're associated with Pete Maravich, Pistol Pete, you've done something right. And he was presented to the Major College Player of the Year by the Louisiana Association of Basketball Coaches last year in 2017-18. Played 2 seasons at BYU. Basketball fans familiar with that school for sure. And then transferring to Louisiana University, where he averaged nearly 18 points a game last season. So he makes a stop right after his college career is done in the National Basketball League of Canada. I'm thinking we'll see more and more of that, where, right out of college, players are starting to take this league seriously as a next step in their professional career.
Yeah, it's just another option for them, and the fact that it's in North America, it'll change a lot of players' decisions whether they want to go overseas to work on their game or stay back at home.
Dexter Williams Jr. taking it up. He's going to get fouled behind. Looks like it was Randy Phillips, number 32, who gets called with the foul. And Dexter Williams Jr. will head to the free throw line. Logan Stutz, head coach of the Sudbury Five, going deep into his bench. It looks like I think everybody has played so far in this game for the Sudbury Five.
Yeah, it's such an asset to have, having such a deep team, because as you mentioned earlier, I can't remember what player it was, but you had mentioned he'd picked up his third foul. It doesn't become such a big issue when you do have so many players on your bench that can step in and help affect the game and towards a win.
And shots are good. It's a 7-point lead right now for the Sudbury Five. A crossover behind the back move, still holds on to it. It's Marvin Binney, kicks it out. There's a couple players there, not great spacing from the Riptide as Kemiazi. Couple dribble moves, hesitation on the first shot, and that one's not gonna fall. Kemiazi misses, ball goes off Marvin Binney out of bounds, 5-ball. So they fix the score. It is 29-21. An 8-point lead in favor of the Sudbury Five with 13.8 seconds left in the first quarter. They're going to take a timeout to draw up one final play for the Sudbury Five.
I love that decision by the coach. I often wonder why more teams don't do that. A lot of times you'll just have a broken down play and nothing comes of it, but there's 4 ends to each quarter, so you're really talking about 4 possessions. So if he can set up a good play here and score, it's something we should really take advantage of.
In this league, you have 2 timeouts in the first half, 3 timeouts in the second half. So it's the case where, you know, use them or lose them. And especially in the first half, you're not, you know, in the fourth quarter, those timeouts become huge. But in the first half, you can kind of use them strategically. This is a great place to use one of those timeouts. You can draw something up, get something set, have that first option, have that second option in the play. I'm thinking that the Five will probably look for something outside. If they have Jalen Bland in there, he'll probably be option number 1. But don't be surprised if you see a kick out and an open 3 from one of the 5 players.
Well, and Rayson's so good too. If the ball's in his hands, he always makes the right decision. So if the 3's not there for him, he'll probably drive and kick to someone else for an open 3. All right, getting ready for the last 13.8 seconds here.
So the Five with 13 seconds left, they're taking their time a little bit. Relaford goes straight to the hoop, has it knocked away, still 6 seconds left, at plenty of time, turns, fades, that one not gonna fall, and the first quarter will come to an end here in Greater Sudbury. And the Sudbury Five off to a pretty good start, a little bit different than the game last Saturday against the Windsor Express, where they got off to a kind of slow start, especially in that first and second quarter.
Yeah, you know, we've been running the plays that are getting our players in the position where they want to get to, and you know, with the team being 0-5, it tends to make it a bit easier to get the shots that you're looking to put up.
First quarter 29-21. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with second quarter action here in Greater Sudbury.
That was a long one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back, second quarter action underway. Foul called there against, or out of bounds, and another quick out of bounds play. That one is going to go back to the Riptide. Out of bounds, it's 29-21 after 1 quarter of play. And the inbounds back out there is Chris Earley. He takes a shot off the bench, and it's not knocked down. Dexter Williams Jr. coming back the other way, and a little bit out of control heading into a few players. And that one is going to be a jump ball, I believe.
Yeah, good on Williams there, holding on to the ball really tight, because if he did let go, then it would have been their ball. Instead, we get an opportunity to keep it here.
Rayson inbounding the ball. He's back out there with Jalen Bland, Travis Relaford, Dixon, and Dexter Williams Jr. So starters out there minus Blazek, and Dexter Williams Jr. is out there for Blazek. Bland with 2 on the clock. He gets it up. That one short, hits rim, and Dexter Williams Jr., case of right time, right place, and he's able to put it back in.
Yeah, it shows high basketball IQ too, though. Eh? Like he knows the shots up, get to the rim.
And smart, almost a veteran move too. You get that position and the shot goes up, and you almost box out as an offensive player. You box out the defensive player, and then oftentimes that happens. The rebound just falls into your lap, and then he does a great job at quick thinking, putting it right back up. Foul there goes to the Riptide, and we're back the other way. Relaford to Bland. Bland to Rayson. Rayson to Bland, coming off a couple screens. A bit of congestion there, looking for Dixon inside, 7 on the clock. That one, Bland getting some contested threes up there. Didn't have a shot off the screens, and then tried to get it up there. An open shot for Jeremiah Morty. He knocks it down. And back the other way, it's Rayson. Takes the screen from Dixon. Rayson just throws it. Smart play there off the feet.
Yeah, he ran out of options, so what he did was he just threw it out of bounds off the other team.
So Jalen Bland leading the way for the Sudbury 5 in the first quarter with 6 points, along with Travis Relaford, 6 points. Devin Gilligan off the bench with 5 as the 5 inbounded. On the other side, leading the way, it's pretty balanced scoring, but Chris Earley has 5 points for the St. John Riptide.
Oh, and we got Jalen Bland currently out-rebounding St. John's entire team right now, 8-6.
Working on a quick double-double, and nice move there, and shot by Frank Bartley. A lot of experience in that young player, a lot of talent. Good defense there by the Riptide as they're able to force the jump ball, and it will be the possession arrow switches, so it will be Riptide ball.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate the hustle effort there by them. I don't like to compliment the other team too much, but
credit where credit is due. Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately.
So the ball is to the Riptide. They are down by 6 points here in the second quarter. And it's Brent Harrington, who had a pretty good first. Only 3 points, but he's been passing the ball around. That one, just as I say, pretty good job. He misses the 3. And Rayson goes inside. Nice bounce pass there to Dixon. Dixon contested by the bigger Walter Pitchford. And Jeremiah Morty tries to go to the basket, ends up fading away to the left side, and his shot is missed. Jalen Bland inside to Dixon. Had Relaford for a second, now he turns around. Shot Relaford, nice rebound, puts it back up, padding the stats a little bit, gets a couple rebounds. He'll head to the free throw line. So Relaford, who had 6 points in that first quarter, 2 rebounds as well. Picks up the offensive rebound, misses his first opportunity, gets a second one where he's fouled, and misses his first opportunity at the free throw line. The St. John, one of the original 7 franchises in the league. Originally the St. John Mill Rats, now the St. John Riptide. And off Off the screen there from Pittsburgh, all the way to the rim. And a turnover by the Sudbury Five, and Jeremiah Morty, who was questioning why he missed the first shot, gets a second opportunity, and he knocks it down as the lead shrinks from the Sudbury Five. It's Blazek back out there. Blazek, nice bounce back into Dixon. He can't get it up, can't handle the pass. A couple of those where it's good passes, just not handled by the Five. That one a bad pass that ends up working out in the Riptide favor. As Chris Earley was alone underneath the basket, it's a three-point game, three-point lead for the Sudbury Five. And the defensive pressure has really picked up for the Riptide inside. Dixon has it stripped. Arrington just with the back heels on the line out of bounds.
It really is a game of runs. I'm not really too concerned with the mini comeback the Riptide have going on right now. Cutting the lead down to 3 for the Sudbury Five.
Well, it's all about continuing to play your style of game in these type of games, not, you know, going to the Riptide style of game. Braylon Rayson thought he might have to pass that one off and just finds himself at the underneath the hoop.
Just a smart player, you know. He gets down low. He's one of the smallest guys on the court, but he gives a little pump fake, makes the defense react, and he gets the layup.
And this one's going to come into the backcourt. That'll be an over and back call, and Sudbury Five, just as you were saying, not too concerned about the run. The Sudbury Five come back defensively, get a couple of stops and a nice basket from Rayson. We're going to have a timeout here, I believe, to the Riptide. So Rayson gets the basket there for the Five, an over and back call. And the Sudbury Five will have it, the possession in the zone of the Riptide, leading as we get the replay there. And the shot of the crowd, the 34-29 is the score. St. John began in 2010, one of the original 7 franchises, as I was mentioning. Playoffs every single year, just, you know, not able to get over that hump in the playoffs. Best season coming a couple seasons ago, 2014-2015. And last year, the last 2 years really hovering around the 500 mark. A lot of turnover on this roster this season. And off to a rough start for sure. No team wants to be 0-5, but they are competing in this game for sure. I'm going to give the Sudbury Five everything that they have through 4 quarters of action. The Sudbury Five looking to move 5-1 on the season.
Yeah, the Riptide, they fight every game. I was looking back at their previous 5 games they played, and it's not like they got blown out in any of them. They're really competing. They just don't necessarily have those players that can secure the victory in the 4th quarter.
Blazek gets it out to Devin Gilligan, who is now in for the Sudbury Five, along with Grandy Glaze. 2 subs coming in. Rayson Bland still out there, and along with Relaford. And with the clock winding down, the Sudbury Five not able to get anything off, so a good defensive effort there by the Riptide. And if you're the defensive team coming out of a timeout, that's exactly what you want. A great defensive effort. You get the shot clock violation. You're able to set up offensively back the other way. Pitchford with a big screen. That one is called illegal. Pitchford didn't set up his positioning. Moved as the Sudbury Five player was coming by him. That's an illegal screen.
Yeah, you got to keep your feet set there. You can't be moving from right to left.
Easy call for the refs, so the Riptide give it right back to the Five. It's Gilligan up top with the ball. Looking for Rayson. That bounce pass was a little careless. Back the other way as Arrington makes a nice move and a nice little finger roll as he's able to put it in. And cut this lead back down to 3. Blazek looking for Glaze. Pitchford playing him high. Glaze has it. Fades back. That one-handed a little bit too far out as it's short for Grandy Glaze. Pitchford with the nice defense. Back the other way, the former Five player looking to do some damage, had a couple points in the first half, or first quarter. Down to Chris Earley, that's where he likes to go to work. The 5-player trying to draw the charge. Relaford, there's no call, and Chris Earley is able to make this a 1-point game. 5 still leading. Racing, that one a bit too strong. Grandy Glaze puts it down, goes up, can't get the and one, but will head to the free throw line.
Oh, I love watching Grandy play. He's such a beast down low there. He had 3 players surrounding him, and he was still able to come down with the rebound.
Every move that Glaze make is a calculated. It's a strong move. You see him there. He grabs the rebound, one hard dribble, and he's looking to get that contact and go up. So Glaze looking to extend the lead, the small lead of the Sudbury 5 a little bit. His first shot, that one knocked down, and it's a 2-point lead now for the Sudbury 5. 6:31 left to go in the second quarter. If you're just tuning in, once again, we were delayed, a collision on Highway 69. The refs were a little bit late heading to the game. And so that's why we're only in the second quarter right now. It's Frank Bartley, that shot hits the rim on the left side, comes out racing the rebound. Up to Glaze, gets it down low to Dixon, the up fake, nice move there. And the reverse and one. Cory Dixon finishing strong.
You know, the Riptide, they're having a hard time from the 3-point line tonight. I think they're currently 2 of 13. They do have a lot of great outside shooters, but unfortunately for them, the games are played indoors.
I see what you did there. And they started off, they hit a couple right off the beginning of the game, but really have gone ice cold since. And it's Kemi Ozzie giving it to Frank Bartley. Bartley down low to Walter Pitchford. He gets it out. Nice up fake there by Ozzie. And, you know, the defense of the Sudbury 5 staying down on that last possession there. Bad shot from the Riptide and back the other way. Rayson gets a drop-off pass from Grandy Glaze. Glaze a little bit late on the roll there, making a decision. He was in the middle between popping and rolling. So when you're that screener, you want that quick decision. So once you hit that screen, once you feel that body, you either roll to the basket or you're popping. And Glaze a little bit of a hesitation there. Grandy Glaze, the shot, there he goes. Knocks it down, a 5-4-3 for Grandy Glaze, showing that outside smooth touch.
Now he's letting the other team know, you want to leave me open, I'm going to knock it down.
And Kemi Ozzie up top gets it to Chris Earley. He can step inside, he can step outside, and the nice response there from the Riptide's leading scorer. Relaford, the crossover, gets low, nice pass to Dixon. Relaford, as he was falling down, a little drop-off pass and a beautiful finish from Cory Dixon, who's been solid so far tonight.
Putting on the highlight reel crossover on him there.
And there's Pitchford getting it inside to Frank Bartley. Back outside to Kemi Ozzie. He knocks it down, and both teams starting to pick up the pace offensively. Kemi Ozzie from Montreal went to the University of Arkansas Little Rock, where he played 123 games, so experienced in the NCAA as well. Nice pass from Rayson. Inside to Glaze, trying to get some room, puts it up on the left side. Nice defense from Chris Earley, standing his ground, not reaching in. Earley gets it to Pitchford, extra pass, and a nice one. Just no finish from Frank Bartley and the Riptide. Devin Gilligan open, that one just short. And the pace of play really starting to pick up. Pitchford steps into this one, and that one's short. The big man, the X5 player, traded this week to the Riptide, can't knock that one down. Dixon, that one a nice little jumper from the corner, and Dixon is really contributing here tonight. Kemi Ozzie up top, getting a screen from Pitchford. Close to an illegal screen. Kemi Ozzie the three. And the Riptide settling. Grandy Glaze slicing through the defense and putting a little icing on top of that one. Glaze with the dunk.
What a great move by Glaze there. He read that perfectly. The defense wasn't sure if he was going to pass it off or not, so they kind of sloughed back and he threw down the wicked dunk.
And how about that head up the entire time? Saw that the defense wasn't going to play anything that looked like defense, beat that initial man, and then everything just spread wide open for Glaze, and the freight train went down the track and just knocked it down with a huge dunk. He had a highlight play the last game that we were kind of in awe about, where he got that drop-off pass on the right block and just threw it down.
Yeah, he's so athletic, and when he gets up there too, he just throws it down with force too. If I'm the defender, I really don't want to get my hand in between the rim and him dunking.
You know, a great opportunity from Grandy Glaze, coming here not far from his hometown. He was born in North York, went down to St. Louis University and Grand Canyon University, so he has some experience in the States, but he also, playing for Team Canada as well, representing his country, getting that opportunity, then staying. That's what we were saying, a lot of, Canadians, Americans taking this opportunity to stay close to home, right? And play, this is a short travel distance from a lot of their hometowns, a quick flight down to Toronto and then off to their hometowns. A lot easier than, especially around the holiday season, than coming back from overseas. A lot of these players, playing in countries like Georgia, Lithuania, places like that. And so you get the opportunity to continue to progress your career here in what is becoming a very competitive and a really good league. We saw earlier this season in exhibition play, the London Lightning, who the Sudbury 5 beat, took down the Raptors 905 in an exhibition game. So very competitive.
I did not know that. That is very impressive.
Nice job there on the run out and a finish as the lead back up to 10 points for the Sudbury 5. Great passing, Grandy Glaze there to finish her off. And so the Riptide looking to respond. They've gone cold in the last couple minutes. The Riptide do get the foul there as Frank Bartley will head to the line, but so we get a look at this nice passing play there. Great ball movement, touch pass there from Cory Dixon, gets it down low to Grandy Glaze. Great job by the two players there. And the fast break of the Sudbury 5, the Riptide will go to the free throw line, getting an opportunity here, down 10 points with 2:57 left to go in this second quarter. The crowd making a little bit of noise. I'm surprised Glaze didn't get called. Touched the backboard there as the ball was rattling around the rim. And so shot number 2 from Frank Bartley. The crowd once again letting him hear it, and ball number 2 goes in. A couple subs come in. Chris Earley and Jeremiah Morty come back in for the Riptide. 2:56 left to go in this second quarter. 5 lead this one by 9. This lineup doing a great job. And Bland has been pretty cold in this second quarter, not getting the most opportunities. I think that's his third 3 this quarter. He's missed all of them. And so other players, Dixon and Glaze, stepping up for this squad.
As we've seen with Bland before, though, he's a shooter, and shooters shoot. He's not going to stop taking his shots. He'll miss a couple in a row, but then he'll make 3 or 4 in a row.
And Marvin Binney is able to step into that one, knocks it down for 3. And Bland gets it thought about the shot. Nice pass in there. There's a double team on Glaze. He'll slow it down a little bit, reestablish his post position. Now he gets it out to Dexter Williams Jr. into Ceres. Ceres gets blocked from behind. Frank Bartley is able to recover, and a Euro step there. Nice move by Marvin Binney, able to finish that one off. And a short little 5-point run for the Riptide gets it back to a 4-point game. Grandy Glaze matched up with Chris Earley. Gets it back over to Braylon Rayson. Glaze with the slip. Ceres open for 3. Takes it. That one not going to fall. Dexter Williams Jr. gets a hand on it. And Marvin Binney up top. He's done some work for the Riptide in the last couple minutes. Nice strip there by Dexter Williams Jr. and a late foul call comes in, but it's going to go against the Riptide, so it will be 5-ball. Dexter Williams, great job with the hands there, playing good defense straight up, and then when that opportunity came to reach in, was able to strip the ball away.
Yeah, when a player's driving to the hole like that with that much that much power, there's really only one option. He just backed off and he swiped down at the ball and was able to knock it loose.
So with 1:20 left to go in this second quarter, the long pass from Ceres right through the mitts of Braylon Rayson and a turnover for the Sudbury Five. A Riptide with 1:15 left. You've got Marvin Binney up top, gets a screen from Earley. Over to Jeremiah Morty, looking for Earley on the over-the-top pass. Takes it himself in a left-hand finish by Jeremiah Morty.
Yeah, the Riptide, they're not going away here. They're going to keep fighting, so Sudbury 5 has to make sure they're doing everything they can.
Grandy Glaze takes the pass from Braylon Rayson. Ceres down to Dexter Williams Jr. He goes in, no call there either way, charge or block. And that's going to be a charge. Great job. Heads up play from Rayson. Saw that it was going to be an out of control play, just established his position and took the charge for the Sudbury Five.
Yeah, you always appreciate when one of the players is going to put their body on the line like that.
And we're going to get a timeout with 41.5 seconds left to go. It's a 2-point game. The run, it's been a game of runs so far. The Five will extend their lead, and then the Riptide saying, hey, we're still in this game, and come back with a couple good offensive possessions.
Yeah, it's always worrisome playing an 0-5 team. You know, they kind of say it's like a wounded dog. You know, they haven't won, but they really want to get that victory, and they're going to do everything they can to try to get that one out of the way.
So the timeout coming to an end. We've got a 49-47 game. Sudbury 5 lead this one by 2 points in the second quarter with 41 seconds left to go.
Bit lower scoring this half compared to the other games we played this year.
Well, we've seen the last game in particular, you know, 116. They've had games where they've scored 126, right now on pace for just 100 points if it stays this way heading into halftime. It will be 5-ball. They will get possession. We'll see what they do if they drew up a play to get a quick shot for a 2-for-1.
I'm a big fan of when coaches do that, or if the players decide to do that. You get a shot up with about 29, 30 seconds left on the clock, so you secure the final possession.
Exactly. So we'll see what they do. Relaford on the block. He's posting up 36 seconds, and that's exactly what they do right around that 35. It's nice if you make it, but you at least guarantee yourself another possession and hope to get a good defensive possession as Binney up top gets it over to Daniel Dingle. Binney with a nice crossover, smooth move, gets it to the rim, but not able to finish. And the Five should be slowing it down and will take advantage of what you got. Grandy Glaze can't finish the and one. He'll go to the line for 2. Sometimes plays just open up for you. I think they wanted to slow it down, but Glaze had a clean look to the basket, so why not take it?
Yeah, absolutely, and you have to take it. You got pretty much a perfect chance of getting a layup there. Of course, he got fouled, but you're not going to turn down a layup for a shot that you could potentially miss at the buzzer anyways.
So Glaze misses shot number 1. He'll have a second opportunity to get to 50. And the Riptide will have one good look with 9.4 seconds left to go on the clock. And that one missed. Glaze with his own rebound goes back up and missed. Still an opportunity off the foot out of bounds. And Braylon Rayson with some great hustle there. 2.4 seconds left, so you got to get a quick one up. I'm thinking they're going to look to set some screens for Bland or get Relaford in the post. That's exactly what they look like they're setting up, a quick screen for Bland. Second option is Glaze. Nice defense there by Earley. That shot's not going to count even if it goes. And halftime, we're looking at a 49-47 score. And the Sudbury Five do lead this one. And so probably not the first half that they were kind of hoping for, but you do have the lead at halftime, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like last game we played, we had 55 first half points and ended up finishing the game with 116. We're getting the plays that we want. We're just simply not knocking the shots down.
So the Sudbury 5 lead this one 49-47 at halftime. We'll be back shortly with some halftime features and, of course, more Sudbury 5 basketball. Stay tuned for second half action.
So what we're doing is we're doing a Sudbury 5 skills challenge. There's a couple fans that are saying that the picture would go head-to-head in the first ever Sudbury 5 skills challenge. Winners walk away with a picture from the side. We like to thank the basketball, Northern Lakes Basketball Academy for allowing us to use their equipment.
guys, it's Julia Williams down here on the floor at the 5 game.
All right, fellas, you ready? Let's go. You guys can cheer them on the side. Go, go, go.
Thanks, guys. That's right. I'm Julia Williams down here on the floor at the 5 game.
I see your dance moves. Let's go.
What am I throwing to?
They're so intense. Oh! We got one right here. High five. Make some noise for our winner. You are the champion of the Sudbury 5 first annual. There you go. Oh, he even gets hugs from the lady. Thank you, guys. Give it up for DJ Willis in the house tonight, spinning those tracks for us.
right, guys, I'm Julie Williams down here on the floor at the Sudbury 5 game. We are playing the St. John Riptide. Now, this is actually the only time that we will play them at home during the regular season. They're all the way out in New Brunswick, and we only had there once in January. And St. John's actually only ever won one single game against the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. And actually, the Titans have never won their own game before so far in this season. So it'll be really interesting when we go down next week to play them. I'm going to throw it back up to you guys in the booth.
Inside the Sudbury Community Arena, thank you very much, Julia. The Sudbury 5 lead this one 49-47 over the St. John Riptide at halftime. I'm Nick Lear, joined with Alex Gunn, and it's been a slow game at some points, but the main thing, Sudbury 5 lead.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think they're doing it on the defensive end for keeping the lead here. You know, Daniel Digley last game, he had 22 points in the game, and so far this game, he's only taken 2 shots, and that has a lot to do with the defensive pressure that we've been putting on them.
A big pointer here, Jalen Bland, one of the leading scorers in the league, and definitely top for the Sudbury 5, only has 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting. All of those shots coming from beyond the arc, 2 of 8 from the 3-point line. So they're doing it in other ways. Other players are stepping up for the Sudbury 5. Travis Relaford with 7, Grandy Glaze with 9 and 8 rebounds. And so other players are stepping up, but it seems like, you know, Jalen Bland maybe a little bit inside first and then outside, all the shots coming from beyond the arc.
Yeah, you know, and it takes a couple drives, really. If you can get yourself, as a shooter, if you can get yourself to the free throw line, it's a great way to find your shot, you know. You might be just shooting a bit too long or a little too short, but if you get to the free throw line, then it's the shot you've practiced the most in your life, so you tend to be able to correct whatever error it was that you're making.
So the Sudbury 5 and the Riptide not shooting well from beyond the arc. The Riptide 5 for 20, the Sudbury 5 for 21. So we're going to hopefully see that improve as the game goes on. Where the Sudbury 5 are winning is the rebounding battle. The Sudbury 5, 31 rebounds to the Riptide 19, and we're talking 8 offensive rebounds to 2 for the Riptide.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned Jalen Bland earlier. When the shot's not falling, you got to do other things on the court to keep it competitive for your teammates, and he's leading both teams right now with 10 rebounds. But then it also speaks really well for the Sudbury 5, the fact that Bland and Rayson are both shooting 2 for 8 on the night, but yet we still maintain the lead at half. The other players, as you mentioned, Nick, are stepping up, and it's really paying off for us.
The Sudbury 5 had, were benefits of a couple good runs. The Riptide were able to get back and stop those runs and kind of get themselves back into the game, and it kind of came off turnovers, and that's where the Riptide are winning. The Riptide only turning the ball over 3 times in that half. On the other side, the Sudbury 5 turning it over 7 times, so got to be a little bit more careful with the ball as the game goes on. You only have 7 assists to the 7 turnovers. You want more than double on the assist side to the turnover category.
Yeah, absolutely. And, not all stats in the game are accounted for. Like, we're losing the battle on the assist level, but then there's things that, like, Rayson's doing, for example. He's taken a charge. The ball's gone, about to be out of bounds. He dives out of bounds, throws it off the other team's player. These are things that we don't necessarily talk about that often, but it helps make up for the lack of assist tonight.
So the Sudbury 5 have led after quarter 1. After quarter 2, we'll see if they can continue to keep that lead in the third quarter and beyond. We're going to take you down to court level in just a couple minutes. 2:30 left to go. As we said off the top of the broadcast, the Sudbury 5 are 4-1 on the season. And how about the start? We talked about all the momentum coming into the season. The hype, there was about a year since the team was named, and and everything was put into the Sudbury 5 team, and then the hype just continued to build, and this team really coming together. It's almost the opposites as we see with the Riptide. They're struggling a little bit. They're 0-5 to the season, but it's crazy to see how the Sudbury 5 in such a short time have gelled and really come together as a team and as a unit.
Yeah, absolutely. A good example of that is even on the professional level. Say when LeBron James goes to the Miami Heat, it takes a while for these teams to develop a cohesion where the players understand where they want to be, and to see Sudbury 5 come out here And these players, they know where each other's spots are right now. Like it really shows that the coach is implementing these into the offensive sets.
And you'll notice it, you know, here and there within the game, the Sudbury Five, especially on the fast break, those extra passes and those smart team passes where they're moving the ball well, where on the other side, the Riptide, who have had a lot of turnover on this roster, it's a lot of, you know, one pass shot offense. And, you know, the ball isn't moving as well as the Sudbury Five are able to do. That's a big difference. So you'll see that throughout the second half if the Sudbury Five are able to pull it out. They'll be playing a team game. So we're going to take you down now. Court level, under a minute left to go until the third quarter is getting the start. We'll see if they go back with these starting lineups. Chris Earley, Brent Arrington, Frank Bartley, Jeremiah Morty, and Walter Pitchford, the ex-Sudbury Five player. We'll see if they go with him on the starting side for the Riptide. Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson, Adam Blazek, Cory Dixon, and Travis Relaford started for the Sudbury Five, and as they come out, it looks like they're going to go back with the starters. Cory Dixon picked up 2 quick fouls. He ended that half with just 2 personal fouls, so did a great job staying out of foul trouble after picking up 2 within the first couple minutes of the first quarter.
Yeah, and when a player picks up 2 quick fouls like that, you usually see them kind of slough off on defense a bit more because they don't want to pick up the third knowing the coach will pull them from the game. But he's been able to stay aggressive on defense and not pick up any other fouls. So it's really worked out perfect for us in that aspect.
And he's also been very aggressive on offense as well, as he's been able to knock down. We talked about, you know, different contributors for this team. And Cory Dixon has 8 points. He's second on the team in scoring. He's been able to knock down in 4 of 6 shooting, so you're not getting the super high volume of shots, but able to knock down at a high percentage. We talked about Grandy Glaze, who has 9 and 8 rebounds, 9 points, 8 rebounds, on his way to a double-double, as we've been, you know, almost used to seeing. We come to expect a double-double from Grandy Glaze. And as well, Jalen Bland on his way to a double-double with 10 rebounds already and 6 points.
Yeah, Jalen Bland, he's been phenomenal out there, as well as Grandy Glaze. They're such pure energy guys that you can really just notice it when you're watching the games, and it's exactly the type of players you want to have.
And on the other side, Chris Earley has done a really good job for the Riptide with 12 points. He leads the way for them. Second in scoring, Frank Bartley, he's been less efficient than Earley, 3 of 10 shooting, 7 points. And from there on down, 6 points is the next highest total for the Riptide, with Jeremiah Morty contributing there. So we're going to have a 5-ball to start the second half. And Braylon Rayson and Blazek have the backcourt. They'll be straddling that half-court line. Blazek gets the ball, and we're underway. Third quarter in Greater Sudbury. The Five's third ever home game. They're 2-0 at home. 2 very good performances against the defending champ, Jalen Bland. And there you go. That's how you get the confidence back a little bit, knocking down a quick 3 and less contested. They got him moving off screens. They got him an open look, where in the first half, it was very, you know, he's fading away with a hand in his face. That was a very good look and a nice knockdown, and some good defense there as it comes to Earley. Earley, nice pass into the middle. It's Bartley who puts it up. He's going to get fouled and head to the line.
Great foul there on Dixon. I really like that, because otherwise it's a guaranteed 2. This way, at least, you can kind of hope he goes 1 for 1 or 0 for 2 from the free throw line.
We get a quick, nice slow-mo look there at the shot from Jalen Bland. That's a set play coming out of halftime for Coach Logan Stutz. Has Bland coming off a couple screens, and they make the mistake of going under on the screen, and Bland makes them pay. His third triple gets him up to 9 points on the evening. Bartley missed the first one, goes for number 2. He sinks that. It's a 4-point game as we just start the third quarter of action. Blazek being guarded by Bartley. In the left corner, looks into Dixon. That one's going to go off Bartley out of bounds. 5-ball. Dixon will inbound. Gets it up top to Travis Relaford. Dixon, nice job there at finding a little seam through a couple defenders. Relaford with a nice pass, and Dixon will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, great curl there by Dixon. That's one thing you like. He could have taken the 3-point shot there, but he saw Dixon curling down low, got him the ball, and he went up, got fouled, and I was shooting 2.
That's what you really start to notice at this professional level. You see it in the university levels where coaches run plays where players have options on the play, where they can, pop out, use the screen, they can curl on the screen, and it's up to the player to judge the play and decide from there. That's exactly where you see that. And a lot of offenses starting to do more and more of that at the college and university level. And we see it here for the Sudbury 5. As Jeremiah Morty taking it in, there's a shot, goes up from Arrington, missed. Adam Blazek with a nice rebound. Blazek long pass to Jalen Bland. Bland uses the Dixon screen for a second and picks up a foul against the Riptide. As a quick sub will come in, Jeremiah Morty comes out. In comes number 12, Kemi Ozzie. Ball inbounded to Blazek. Nice pass in the corner. Rayson had a shot for a second, draws the foul, puts it up, and he'll head to the line. Smart play by Rayson.
Yeah, everything he does is smart. It's all calculated for him. I can't stress enough of how much he reminds me of Kyle Lowry, especially with that pump fake right there. The defender leaves his feet, so Rayson knows I might as well go up for the shot. He's going to foul me.
And Rayson has been a pretty good free throw shooter this season for the Sudbury 5. He's going to the line for 2, knocks down the first, and way to go. Just as I say it, I jinx him on the free throw, and 1 of 2 from the line there from Braylon Rayson, 54-49. Ball goes in now to Frank Bartley, backing down Rayson. Fades, nice defense there by Cory Dixon. Comes over, Bartley didn't see him coming.
Yeah, Rayson had a lot to do with that. You could see him bumping his chest there as he's trying to back him down, being the bigger player, but Rayson, he was standing his ground and he wouldn't move.
Ball comes into Pitchford and out of bounds. They call that one as it was inbounded from Brent Arrington to Pitchford, who hands it off, but they say that Arrington's foot was out of bounds. I don't know if you noticed the refs, the game started with different refs than we have right now. So the refs were on the road, got caught in traffic because of a collision on Highway 69. So we have different refs now than when we started the game. A couple of refs from right here in Greater Sudbury started reffing the game. Now we have refs from out of town who made their way up. Shot airballed. The clock reset. It probably shouldn't have, and the Sudbury 5 are able to get a foul call. Braylon Rayson in there with the hustle. Another sub comes in. It's Randy Phillips, who comes in for Walter Pitchford. Pitchford had 4 points, 3 rebounds against his former team in the first half. Phillips with just 3 points and 2 personal fouls. And Braylon Rayson going to the line. He finishes both of them, extends this lead. And the biggest thing for the Sudbury 5 is to stretch those leads and not allow the offense to come back for the Riptide. They're stifled with defense, and Phillips with the ball, and they're doing just that on the defensive end. Kemi Ozzie looking inside, gets it to Earley. Had an opportunity, quick turn back to the left, but he is blocked, sent the other way, quick run. Bland had it, should have taken the first one, hesitated just a bit, able to get the ball back. Drops into Rayson, goes up and under, can't finish that one. And it back come the other way. It's missed, the left-handed layup is missed by Brent Arrington. Back out, knockdown shot, Frank Bartley. Blazek goes up to Rayson. Rayson double teamed in the corner, and it looks like he stepped out of bounds. He did, and it's going to be Riptide ball.
Rayson was getting trapped in the corner there. They were trying to get him to turn the ball over, and he tried to throw it off the defender, but unfortunately it stepped on the baseline.
And great defense back the other way. Blazek made that pass into Rayson in the corner, a bad position to put him in. He comes back, gets a great defensive effort, knocks the ball off the knee of the Riptide player, and it's 5-ball once again. It's a 4-point game, 8:55 left to go in this third quarter. Bounce pass in to Bland. Has Relaford. Up fake. Tries to dump the pass off, and Bland, that hustle. Great job. He's stripped, though, back the other way. It's Bartley goes all the way, finishes with the right hand. Rayson up high on the right side, going to get a screen from Dixon. Turns down the screen. Now he gets it back. Rayson to the cup. And it's going to go off Rayson out of bounds. So the Riptide picking up their defensive efforts. Blazek comes out. In comes Gilligan. Glaze comes in for Dixon. And this is the lineup that really got that run going in the second. A nice job there by Braylon Rayson, able to poke that one out of the hands of Randy Phillips. A broken play once again that go into the hand of the Riptide of almost an open layup. But Rayson knocks it out. It'll be Riptide ball right near the corner of the court, 56-54. The next home game is on Sunday, December 9th at 2:05. Mark that start time. It's a 2:05 start time. Couple up fakes and a great job there. Bland jumping in. We'll see if they call it 3 shots or on the ground against Jalen Bland. Number 12 looks like he's setting up at the free throw line. Kamiazi.
I thought he wouldn't be shooting 3 free throws here. He seemed to be a bit late of recognizing that that his defender had left his feet.
So Kamiazi from Montreal, as mentioned before, played at the University of Arkansas Little Rock, starting 51 games, 42 games last season with the Island Storm of the National Basketball League of Canada. Rookie, all-team rookie, and all-playoff team with the Island Storm. So Kamiazi, a big contributor coming off the bench, and he's able to knock down a couple, tying this game or giving them the lead at 57. Knocking down all 3 of his free throws. Rayson to Relaford.
The Riptide, yeah, they won't go away. They just got the lead back for the first time since the early first quarter.
And Gilligan, the travel, yes, the first lead since the first quarter, 7:06. They led by 3 points at that point. And the Riptide clawing their way back and starting the offensive wave. Shot goes up, that one missed. Brent Arrington looking for the foul. Gilligan with the ball, he's running out. Gilligan right to the hoop. Nice pass there to Glaze. Up just a little bit short and back the other way. Some missed opportunities for the Sudbury 5. And it's Earley. Brent Arrington. Back up to Earley. He's hit a couple already, and I don't think you can leave him open for much longer this game. He's going to continue to knock it down, and the Sudbury 5 thought there were going to be a timeout called. And a turnover again. Bland wide open, makes him pay. The score table buzzed as if there was a timeout. And the Riptide stole it. Sudbury steals it right back. And it ends up working out in Sudbury's favor as they are able to hit the 3, bringing this to a 1-point game. Timeout not going to happen either.
Yeah, our players thought it was, though, because they heard the buzzer, so they stopped playing offense, and then the other team stole the ball.
Inside to Earley. He's wide open, banking it off the glass. Banks not open this late on Thursdays. And Gilligan open on the left side. 5, 4, 3. Devin Gilligan knocking it down, giving the lead back up to Sudbury. Randy Phillips up top for the Riptide. Looking for Arrington, finds him on the left side. Arrington goes back inside to Phillips, posting up Gilligan. And they're going to call a foul on the floor to Gilligan. Looked like Randy Phillips didn't have a whole lot of control on that ball as he was trying to go up, but they're going to call a foul. It won't be a shooting. The ref pointed to the side out of bounds.
It appeared to be a travel to me. I couldn't tell if he'd fouled him before or after.
So the side out of bounds, it's going to be Kamiazi taking this one. look for the shot. Lane opens up for Arrington. Great hands by the Sudbury 5. Relaford able to get the steal and back this Sudbury 5 come. Bland, he's open. Can he knock it down? Just on the outside rim. Bland had knocked down 2 this quarter. He's now got a double-double with 12 points and over 10 rebounds. Kemiazi goes to Daniel Dingle. Back to Kemiazi on Grandy Glaze. Kemiazi, step back shot, knocking it down.
That's why coaches stress so much. You really want to put a team away when you have the opportunity, especially in a league like this where anyone can win on any given night. But we have allowed them to get back into the game. And
Relaford misses that shot. The rebound's going to go to the Riptide as they continue to look to stretch their lead. It's just up to 1 right now. But Kemiazi has been hot so far. Looks for the free throw line jumper. That one doesn't fall. Bland coming back the other way. And Bland, the crossover. Had Gilligan for a second now. Nice pass there from Rayson. Finds Grandy Glaze. He'll get the foul. Rayson, that little touch pass, not even looking at Glaze, finds him.
It's great team basketball. Our assists aren't necessarily showing how well we're passing it tonight, but it's going to pick up, and it'll show by the end of the game here.
And the Sudbury 5 also doing a great job with, those hockey assists where you get that first initial pass to the person who's picking up the assist. Jalen Bland did a great job. Had Gilligan for a second, didn't like it. Found Rayson, a little touch pass there. Down low to Grandy Glaze. We're going to have a timeout in this third quarter. And Grandy Glaze, who missed 2 free throws in the second quarter, has an opportunity to stretch this lead back up or give the Sudbury 5 back the lead. They're trailing right now 63-62.
Yeah, as you were talking about the hockey assist, if you haven't played basketball, you won't really understand what we're talking about. But if you have played basketball, there's a lot of times the pass that leads to the basket isn't necessarily the one that created the play. It's the pass before the pass. So if a player could shoot up a deep shot or something, but he realizes that the defense is slagging off to one side of the court. So he swings it, and then that allows the next player to pass it quick down low for the quick basket.
And it's that ball movement as well. You swing that ball just more than that one pass, and you really get the defense moving, and you catch them off guard as they're trying to shift and defend, and you're able to, sweep and go by or find Grandy Glaze like that. Down low, open. Glaze, I'm sure, would love to have that and get the and one and pick up the assist for Braylon Rayson, but still, we'll take those free throws.
Absolutely, and I'm a big fan of not taking the quick shot because either team on the court, where they exert the most energy is on the defensive end. So if you have the ball on offense and you can make 3, 4, 5 passes, swing it around the court back and forth, the other team, they're all in defensive positioning. They're exerting energy going right to left. Meanwhile, our players can be simply standing there swinging the ball.
Well, run when you can, slow it down when you can. And especially when you have offensive talents like the Sudbury 5 do, you're fine in the half-court offensive set. You're also fine to run because Bland can hit down those threes for sure in the transition. But 63-63, Grandy Glaze makes 1 of 2. And the handoff up top is to Daniel Dingle. Nice job as Dexter Williams Jr. was falling down, is able to poke it free. Grandy Glaze gets it to Braylon Rayson. Nice bounce back to Glaze. He knocks it down, throwing it in. Get up, big man, get up.
Grandy Glaze, it feels like we're talking about him on every defensive and offensive possession here. He's really something.
And we're fine with that because that means the hustle is coming from Glaze. And here he is playing the defense on Brent Arrington, and we're going to have a jump ball. It'll be Sudbury 5 ball.
Glaze won't be jumping here, but he really set the tone on that one because he's the one that originally poked the ball.
And so a couple subs for the St. John Riptide as the ball is going to stay with the Riptide because Sudbury had the possession at halftime. And so ball comes in. There's that play that we saw was called out of bounds. Very similar, wide open. Sudbury 5 got lucky there as Kemi Ozzie was wide open at the top. And Braylon Rayson taking it right to the cup. Falling down, can't get it to fall back the other way. Ozzie, nice pass there to number 1, Daniel Dingle on the fast break. Gilligan has an opportunity, goes right to the cup, falling down, his pass out of bounds. And it's a 65 game with 3:55 left to go in this third quarter of action. It's been close for most of this game. A lower scoring game than the Sudbury fans have been used to. Both home games have been over 110 points. A big win against the London Lightning, scoring 112 to 107. 116 to 112 the last home game against the Windsor Express. Nice up fake there, gets Devin Gilligan to bite. Back out to Daniel Dingle, looking for someone. Finds Marvin Binney inside. It's Randy Phillips out to Dingle. Dingle can't knock it down, and Sudbury with a big rebound. Dexter Williams Jr. Rayson to Glaze. Rayson now with the ball. Guarded by Marvin Binney. Trying to get that up fake with 7 on the clock. Gilligan gets it up, and that one is short. And the Riptide will let it fall out of bounds, and they'll reset. Gilligan comes out. In comes Travis Relaford for the 5. Once again, it's Daniel Dingle up top. We talked about him, 22 points off the bench and a loss to the London Lightning the last game for the St. John team. And there he goes, picking it up with a strong move and a good finish by Dingle.
Yeah, great defense there, but Dingle just got it to roll.
Braylon Rayson to Travis Relaford. Relaford looking up at the clock, backing down. Nice move there, gets it to Glaze. Back to Relaford, that one goes off his hands. Dexter Williams puts it up, gets the foul call, and the ball bouncing around finds Williams underneath.
Great effort there by Williams. It's easy to just sprint back down the court, but he's stuck fighting for the rebound there and got fouled. Now he's shooting 2 free throws.
Trailing by 2, Williams Jr. not able to knock down his first free throw. That one is good. Dexter Williams makes it a 1-point game. It's been close since we started this third quarter. In and out move, nice crossover by Dingle. Pass goes out, the shot does not go up, and a foul is going to be called to either Dexter Williams Jr. or Travis Relaford. And it is Dexter Williams Jr. fouling number 6, Marvin Binney. Ball is up top.
Better job.
Grandy Glaze hands off to Relaford. Relaford spinning in. Gets it to Glaze over to Williams Jr. Nice pass there. And Cory Dixon, 2 hands for safety, folks. Puts it down, number 4. Getting this lead back up, or back down to 1. Daniel Dingle takes the screen from Phillips. Another in and out move, draws the foul. Cory Dixon picks it up. And he'll head to the line for 2 with 1:08 left to go in this third quarter. A sub coming in, Cory Dixon picking up a couple of fouls. Jalen Bland will come in for him. He has a couple of words to say to the refs before that happens. Bland knocking down a couple of triples early in this third quarter. They're going to need his big shot down the stretch. And Braylon Rayson, the top 2 scorers in this league. Braylon Rayson is first, 24.8 points a game. He is well outscoring his teammate, 24.6 points a game. By point 2. I'm sure there's a little internal competition between the 2 of them for that scoring title or scoring lead, but they're both happy with a win in this game. Relaford with 50 seconds on the clock. Relaford goes to his right, and a charge is called as Relaford is blocked out of bounds. So it's Riptide ball, 42 seconds left to go. They lead by 3. Big screen there. Phillips is open in the post. They get it over to Darnell Landon. Landon to Marvin Binney to Landon. Landon has it stripped. It goes off the foot. Nice save there momentarily by Kemiazi, and Kemiazi can't keep it in. As Braylon Rayson lets the ball roll up to save a little bit of time. They're going to hold for what will almost be the last shot if they get it right down to 0. The Riptide will have about 3 seconds left on the game clock. There's 10 seconds left on the shot clock right now as Rayson drives, finding someone. No one is home, and back come the other way the Riptide. Langdon is fouled. He'll go to the line.
That was another one. I'm not really sure about the foul on there. It's something that's been happening the entire game. Players are swatting at the ball, and it's not called, but now it is.
And so the free throw shots will come to Darnell Langdon. His first shot short, but it drops in, a shooter's touch.
With 4.5 seconds left on the clock here, it should be more than enough for us to get up a quick shot.
We'll see what the Riptide do in terms of defense. That one rattles in to give the Riptide a 5-point lead. Good defense pressure up. Relaford has a good look for 3. That one's going to go off the backboard. And the Sudbury 5, who led at halftime by 2 points, and now a trail by 5 points after 3 quarters. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with 4th quarter action. So what's the scenario? Don't know this, don't know that.
Good Nick multitasking over here.
I'm a sucker for Tribe Called Quest.
Says a lot about your age.
30 seconds, guys.
Well,
I am too, though.
yes and no.
Yeah.
Tribe Called Quest is, it's, if you like basketball, your chances are you've heard at least one or two Tribe Called Quest songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're back inside the Sudbury Community Arena where the Sudbury Five have a little bit of work to do in this fourth quarter if they want to squeak out a win against the St. John Riptide. Nice pass there by Glaze. Relaford is fouled. That close to an and one. Great pass. And once again, Logan Stutz coming to play out of the timeout or out of the quarter, able to draw something up that gets a nice look at a basket.
Relaford would like to have that one back. He was, a half an inch away from throwing that down.
So Relaford, the graduate of Kansas University, misses number one. He'll get a second opportunity. The Sudbury Five trail by 5 heading into this fourth quarter. Relaford makes it 4. And the Riptide going to work on offense. They had a pretty good quarter, outscoring the 5 by 7 points, and that shot by Landon is not going to fall. Or sorry, by Jeremiah Morty is not going to fall. And it's not going to fall for the Sudbury Five either. As a quick fast break by Daniel Dingle is able to put it in. And nice job there by Dingle. Rayson, step back 3, knocks it down. Rayson a little bit quiet on the offensive side, looking as to be more of a facilitator. And they're going to need him to pick up the play just like that if they want to get back into this game.
Sometimes that's all it takes for a player is to knock one down, especially a step back, which is definitely a go-to for Rayson.
And Phillips backs it down, uses the big body, moves the player out of the way and finishes. It's 77 to 72. Rayson, the shot, that one knocks it down. Rayson, and not only is he getting his confidence up, that really sparks the bench, sparks the entire team and the crowd to get back into this game.
I think Rayson was saying he wanted 4 points on that one because it was so deep.
And the Riptide now lead by 2 points. And Jeremiah Morty, the defense picking up from the Sudbury Five. Brent Arrington puts it up. Phillips gets the rebound. Out, and that's a big one. Those second chance opportunities, they'll kill you. And it's Frank Bartley knocking down the 3. Rayson, who's hit the last 2 3-points for the Sudbury Five, gets it to Relaford, back out to Rayson. Wouldn't be some, that's deep. And a bit too deep for the Sudbury Five leader, Braylon Rayson. Misses his first shot of the fourth quarter. It's a 5-point game, 80 to 75, 9:37 left to go in this fourth quarter. St. John coming in 0-5 on the season. The Sudbury Five 4-1. And Phillips is going to get fouled. Dexter Williams Jr. reaching in, pulling down the arm of Phillips. Going to have a quick sub as Cory Dixon is going to come in for Dexter Williams Jr. And Phillips misses number 1.
If he misses this one, it might be a game plan to start fouling him when he's down here on offense.
And right on cue, however, the Riptide get the ball back. It's Bartley, the shot. Grandy Glaze pulls it down. He's on the run, gets it over to Bland, finds Rayson for three. Up fake, hard foul. He goes down. Smart play.
All it takes is that little pump fake, and it gets the defender flying at him off his feet.
Well, you see what we were talking about earlier through the broadcast. You get the players moving with those quick passes like they did. I would almost rather see Rayson pump fake, take that dribble, set up, and take the open three, but he's going to get 3 opportunities at the free throw line. Just a, kind of a scary play. You're taking contact at some very high speeds. And Rayson knocks down number 1 as he kind of favoring his shoulder there a little bit.
Yeah, he's been getting beat up all game, and he's just a tough dude.
There's shot number 2. And the Riptide thought it was just a 2-point shot, but they called 3 free throws. So 1 more coming for Rayson. He can make it a 2-point game, and he does.
I think Grandy was just excited there to get back on the defensive end.
Brent Arrington. Up top, it's Daniel Dingle. Over to Chris Earley. Haven't heard much from Chris Earley in this second half. That shot goes up and an and one. Jeremiah Morty putting it down for the Riptide.
Relaford's been doing that a lot this game. It's an old saying, though, you reach, I teach.
And the and one free throw is good for Morty. And a sub as Brent Arrington comes out and Marvin Binney comes in for the Riptide. Walter Pitchford, the ex-Sudbury 5 player, haven't seen a lot from him in this second half. Couple minutes and found his way to the bench. Braylon Rayson, drop-off pass, Grandy Glaze. And Bland is blocked from behind. Nice play there by Jeremiah Morty. He's all alone. Rayson gets back, and Morty doing it all for the Riptide in this 4th quarter. Relaford into Glaze. Glaze double-teamed, has it stripped, and they're going to call a late foul.
Yeah, it was a late foul, but it was the right foul to call. He was, especially with the foul they just called on the other end.
And so with the lead stretched up, 85-78, a 7-point game, the Sudbury 5 need to start knocking down some shots here. Still plenty of time, 8:27, but the momentum, you can kind of feel it starting to shift in the favor of the Riptide. In low to Cory Dixon. Nice defense there. He gets it back, and he's able to finish it. As Daniel Dingle providing some defensive pressure, but gets knocked down. And Dingle has it up top. Dingle, the crossover. Looking to go back to his strong hand. He does and misses that one. They're going to have a foul call against Jalen Bland, who comes in from the backside.
Yeah, I didn't have a good angle at that one. Didn't appear to be a foul from up here, though.
So Dixon comes out, Gilligan in for the Sudbury 5. And 2 more free throws with the score 85-80. And Daniel Dingle at the line for 2 shots. First one good, stretches the lead to 6 points, can get it back up to 7.
Lots of time left to play, though.
And the Sudbury 5 biggest lead tonight by 10 points. This is the largest lead for the Riptide. It's 87-80 with 7:50 left to go. Braylon Rayson looking for Grandy Glaze. Rayson with the crossover, finds Relaford. Out to Bland. Bland, good look for three, knocks it down. 5-4-3 for Bland. And now it becomes defensive battle, and you got to get those key stops for the Sudbury 5. And up top, great job there drawing the foul. It's Marvin Binney. Braylon Rayson questioning the call.
I'm questioning the call as well. I didn't even see him touch him there.
Well, you got to look there. Jalen Bland knocking it down for three on the other side. You know, that Euro step and kind of bringing the elbow in to draw the contact and force the ref to make a call or not call anything. And what do? They blow the whistle on the foul of Braylon Rayson. 2 free throws for Marvin Binney.
When you see Rayson standing straight up like that with both hands up in the air, it's hard for me to agree with the call.
First one goes down for Marvin Binney. 88-83. Marvin Binney's second shot, he knocks it down. Rayson gets it to Jalen Bland, fights through a couple players. Are they going to call continuation? No, they're going to call it on the sideline. A foul is called on the Riptide, and important to keep an eye on the foul number. 7 gets you into bonus in the league. 4 fouls so far for the Riptide, 3 for the Sudbury 5. Rayson, he's open, takes a shot, knocks it down. Man, he has been good in this fourth quarter.
Oh, he thrives under pressure.
Doesn't need a lot of room to get that shot off. And he has carried this team back into contention. Early step back 3. Big rebound here. Bland to Glaze. Up to Relaford, just off the fingertips. That close. Glaze.
Great idea there by Glaze.
A bit too much mustard.
Yeah. It's a tough pass for a big man to make.
Those, I mean, it's tough down the stretch with a turnover like that, but if you're going to get turnovers, it's going forward. So you're not allowing the other team to get a transition play. And so as a coach, you can live with that one just off the fingertips of Relaford in a 3-point game. And we've got Marvin Binney with the ball up top as Randy Phillips on the roll. Over to Frank Bartley. Bartley fades back. Nice touch there by Bartley. He's able to knock it down, the quick 2. Rayson, spin move, draws 2, splits right through, and a very nice layup there by Braylon Rayson. Makes it look so easy.
Yeah, he really does, and he just mixes it up so well. You know, 3-pointer on the play before, and this time he drives it down the hole, gets a nice layup.
That's what you call keeping the defense honest. You know, you play him up tight because he just hit a couple of threes and he just blows right by you, a little spin move, and is able to knife through the defense, finish with the layup. Timeout now, coming a TV referee timeout, 91-88. I want to remind you that you can catch Sudbury 5 action again this weekend at home if you want to come down to the game. Or you can watch once again. It's the Sudbury 5 and Windsor Express. I know what you're saying. Well, they've already played the Windsor Express. Well, yeah, they have. It'll be the 4th matchup, so the team's getting very familiar with each other. They won't play each other again for a while. Well, it'll be Sunday, December 9th at 2:05. And, of course, you have 2 Wolves games tomorrow night and Friday. Julia, who you saw at halftime, is going to be here for all the action as well.
Getting into crunch time here with a 3-point game, late 4th quarter. I expect to see the intensity pick up on both ends for both teams. We're in for another good one.
It's another close game. Both home games have been really good. The Sudbury 5 held the lead for most of the game against the London Lightning, had the Lightning come back at the end. and make it a real interesting ball game. And then the Sudbury 5 found themselves on the opposite end, clawing back into a game against the Windsor Express last weekend, pulling out wins in both those games. We'll see if the result is the same here tonight, a Thursday night contest between the Sudbury 5 and St. John Riptide. St. John coming in from New Brunswick. So the 5 will stick with Gilligan, Rayson, Relaford, Bland, and Grandy Glaze. And it will be Riptide ball. Brent Arrington inbounding, trying to find Frank Bartley. He's being tied up, gets it to Phillips instead. Brent Arrington to Bartley in the corner. Had Phillips for a second. Short, that shot does not fall for Frank Bartley. Big defensive stop right when you needed it out of a timeout. And Sudbury coming back the other way. Braylon Rayson up top. Brent Arrington on him. Dangerous pass, but it gets to Bland. Bland takes the shot, and he knocks it down, baby. We're getting fired up here in Sudbury as it's a 91-91 game. Benches are in it, crowds in it. And Jalen Bland and Braylon Rayson, their heads are definitely in it for the Sudbury 5. Nice pass in there, good help side by Bland. Just a little bit too late as Randy Phillips with the answer. Jalen Bland back the other way. Loses it out of bounds, Jalen Bland. The defense coming from Jeremiah Morty, who's had a great second half for the Riptide. Brent Arrington slowly bringing up the ball. Fouls 4-4, 93-91 Riptide with 4:54 left to go in the fourth. It's Brent Arrington. Gets it over to Daniel Dingle. Dingle rattles and it's in.
They seem to be getting every bounce tonight.
Rayson just fouled as Brent Arrington. And the inbounds play will come for the Sudbury 5. It's Gilligan up top. He'll give it right back to Braylon Rayson. Rayson's knocked down some pretty big threes in this fourth quarter already. He's drawing the double team and looking to get out. He's got to get it out quick. Relaford over to Gilligan. Gilligan loses it, gets it in. Probably safer just to go out of bounds there as it leads to an easy layup.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking there. You
And
never want to throw it back in towards the center court like that.
Logan Stutz will take a timeout as the lead now stretched back up to 6 points. A big run there by the Riptide. And Gilligan had the shot slip out of his hands, saves it back into the middle, and the Riptide out and running. Easy finish on the other side.
Well, great timeout by Logan there. It is getting down. I believe it's around 4 minutes left in the game, and at 6 points, it's not too concerning, but you do want to just settle your team down a little bit.
So big stretch coming for the Sudbury 5. They will get the ball after this timeout. And the Sudbury faithful not used to seeing this. Their team down like this late in the fourth quarter. They're 4-1 on the season, have pulled out some pretty big wins against some good competition.
I'd like to see the 5 attack the rim a bit more here. Maybe lay off the deep threes unless you're wide open.
And exactly to your point, the Riptide have 5 fouls. You pick them up 2 more, and every foul from there on, you're in bonus, and you're shooting free throws. So that's exactly right. Attack the basket, force them to foul you, or you get a layup. And it's all going to go through. It's going to run through Braylon Rayson. Gets it to Travis Relaford. Relaford to Rayson, now to Gilligan. Gilligan with 10 on the shot clock. Gilligan to Relaford, who has 5 on the shot clock. He's going to step back, take the 3. Relaford can't hit. The long rebound comes up to Daniel Dingle. Dingle with some high dribbles. Over to Bartley. Bartley with the up fake. Bad pass by Bartley. Can't get it in to Phillips. And in the corner, Rayson knocks it down. Does he miss?
Bland was so patient there on the pass. He was just waiting for him to slough off to the corner.
And another big 3. And the biggest thing here, and it is going to be Sudbury 5 basketball. That one going off of Randy Phillips. They're going to have a consultation between the 2 refs. And we'll see if it was tipped off the Sudbury 5. It kind of did look like it was, but we will have to find out they do reverse their call, much to the dismay of the Sudbury faithful.
Well, there's one ref standing 5 feet away from the play, and the ref 30 feet across the court says that he saw it go out off him. I'm just not really sure how he could have seen that from that angle. Enough to even overturn the call.
Well, it's going to be Riptide ball, another big defensive stop needed. The Sudbury 5 haven't been able to get those stops after a huge 3. This one is going to be big, and that's going to be an offensive foul.
Randy.
Relaford with a great job. He stands in there with the defense and is able to just, stand his ground, allow the offensive player who didn't have anywhere to go, just lower his shoulder, takes the charge. 5 ball, down 3, and that one was big too because it's another foul. That's 6 fouls, team fouls for the Riptide. And Bland is going to control the ball. They're going to get Braylon Rayson off ball. He's been hitting on fire. Slips through the defense. Floater goes up. It's a pass to Grandy Glaze. And it's knocked away by the Riptide. Glaze. And that pass is going to slip through. Will it be 5 ball? They're going to give it back to the Riptide. They were looking for Phillips down low. Phillips logging some heavy minutes. Walter Pitchford, the X5 player, still on the bench. So they've gone to Phillips in the post, and we're going to have a timeout with 2:48 left to go. It seems, every game that we've done so far, it's been exciting down the stretch.
Oh, absolutely. These teams are putting on such a great show. And with the score always being close, it's kind of nice to have blowouts every once in a while, but it gives the coach a better gauge of what his team's capable of if they do come back and get these types of victories.
And yes, you want to pull out these wins, no matter what time in the season, but these games are so huge, come playoff time, when you have those game plans and you see which plays work in big situations when it's a tight game. So these are great, teaching moments for the players, teaching moments for the coaches. Logan Stutz, a relatively new coach, just coming off his playing days. And so these are great opportunities to try some of his stuff out.
Yeah, and it gives them a good idea of who the players are that are going to step up. One of those I've been a bit curious about tonight is whether Adam Blazak's going to get back in. He's been doing really well in the crunch time as of late.
Well, we might see, and we did see this a couple times with, the opposing team, Windsor, playing defense-offense, where you get your top offensive players out there, then you have Blazak almost waiting at the scorer's table to sub in there for defensive purposes. So we might see something like that. Right now, it will be Riptide ball. 97-94 is the score. Riptide have it with 2:48 left to go here in Greater Sudbury.
Well, it's one possession at a time now. Sudbury 5's got to really focus in on defense here.
Inbound Phillips is there underneath the basket. Cory Dixon providing the defense, and an offensive foul as Phillips tried to pull Cory Dixon away from the ball. And it will go the other way, the Sudbury 5. Braylon Rayson, huge down the stretch, 4 threes this fourth quarter, and they have been massive threes. Also picking up, foul. And as we said, you got to watch, because not only does that foul get them into foul trouble, it puts them in the bonus. So that foul came all the way down in the Sudbury 5 end underneath their basket. It results in free throws for the Sudbury 5, and if they can make it and take advantage of it, the first one is missed, but these are free points. No time comes off the clock, and it's a kind of a bad foul for the Riptide. Cory Dixon at the free throw line. Knocks down at least one of the two.
That's big though, one of the two. It's still 2-point game here. Hopefully we can see them attack the basket once they get the ball back here as well.
And the Riptide with the ball up top. It's Brent Arrington. Crossover as the clock winds down. Tough shot, and he knocks it down. That's a big bucket for the Riptide. Very, very tough and a strong move. Grayson nearly stepped into the backcourt there. And a foul, will they give him 2 shots? They will, on doesn't matter what, because they are in the bonus.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. They are in the bonus, so every foul from here on out for the rest of the game will be getting free throws.
And so the Sudbury 5, they are at 4 team fouls. Braylon Rayson heading back to the free throw line where he's been clutch. He knocks down shot number 1. And we're back to a 3-point game. Back and forth and back and forth. And Rayson knocking it down. It's still a 1-possession game. Clock continues to tick down. It's at 2:08. And Arrington back up top. It's Daniel Dingle. Dingle all the way to the basket, goes to his left hand. Had a right-handed layup. Big boards there by Phillips. They're going to wave that off, and what are they calling? 3 in the key, exactly right. 5 get a little bit lucky as Phillips is able to get a big rebound, but Daniel Dingle had the right hand, then Euro stepped back to the left, so Sudbury, a big break there. They'll get the ball with down 2 points, and it's 1:52 left to go. No need to force anything here, get a good setup in a play and get the shot that you want. They're gonna get it into Bland and I'm sure run something for Rayson. Bland over to Rayson, screen by Glaze. Back up top, it's Glaze. Nice pass to Dixon. Dixon is fouled, he'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, Sudbury 5 knows exactly what they're doing here. They've gone away from the 3 knowing that they're in the bonus. They're taking it to the hole every time. Very smart move.
Yeah, Glaze right to the rim. Nice drop off. You know, you got players stepping towards you, looking to take that charge to get the ball the other way. That opens up something on the blocks. And that's exactly where Dixon was. Goes up strong, right away, puts it up. And he's shooting 1 of 2, makes 1 so far. 1-point game, he can tie it up with a free throw here. And that one missed by Cory Dixon. And Arrington. Up top, it's Bartley, the 3, well off. Grandy Glaze looking for one of his guards, and that was a nice possession defensively by the Sudbury 5, and Jalen Bland has the ball now. It's over to Braylon Rayson, gets a screen from Grandy Glaze. Doesn't use it, goes back to the left, draws the foul, it's up, he's gonna shoot 3.
Such a smart player. He's so good at taking advantage of that. As a defender, you cannot leave your feet when he has the ball at the 3-point line.
And you know, reaching in, trying to block that shot, they get him on the arm. And that's the 2nd time, or perhaps even the 3rd. I think it is the 3rd time that he's going to the free throw line for 3 free throws tonight. Just something that you can't do. 1 you can kind of get away with, but you continuously do this on defense. A guy like Braylon Rayson is going to make you pay.
Yeah, and he has. It's tied 99-99 right now. With the next 2, we can make this a 2-point lead.
And the Sudbury 5 faithful absolutely loving this 4th quarter. Down by 7 points after 3. And boy, they've come back and energized this crowd, energized themselves. It's a 101-99 game. 1:05 left to go here in this 4th quarter. The Riptide seeing the momentum slip out of their grasps, and the game as well.
Well, I don't know about you, Nick, but I had a feeling this game wasn't going to be over. I knew Sudbury was going to fight back here, and here we are with the 101-99 lead.
So big defensive possessions for the Sudbury 5 coming up down the stretch, but we've seen this from them countless times. I know it's only 5 games into the season, but when they need to step up defensively, they do. And when they need to step offensively, they do as well.
Yeah, they're just a really well-coached team. They know exactly what they're doing and when they're doing it, whether that be on the offense or defensive end. They know who their matchups are. They know where to guard the other players. And here it's just a gritty comeback. Grayson has just been doing everything he can to get this lead back.
And you knew coming in, and the Riptide had to know coming in, they've got, the top 2 scorers in this league. They were a little bit slow in that first half. They knew the offense had to eventually come. And boy, it sprouted out like a weed in the 4th quarter. And Braylon Rayson knocking down his threes like there's no tomorrow. And Jalen Bland also coming up clutch. You got to give the credit to the other players on the floor as well. I mean, Grandy Glaze, just that energy guy, big defensive rebounds. Cory Dixon has been very good throughout the game in foul trouble. And then Travis Releverd, steady Eddie for sure. Ball is to the Riptide. It's Dingle, the floater. It's off, and it looks like it went off of Braylon Rayson. He doesn't think so, but it will stay with the Riptide. Shot clock doesn't resets to 14. That's where it was at because there was no possession.
Well, I think Grandy thought he was held down there by Randy, so he wasn't too happy that there was a no call on that.
And the ball up top, it's Brent Arrington once again. Arrington going to the basket. He's made some tough ones. He does it again. Tie game, 47 seconds left to go. It comes down to the final possessions here in Greater Sudbury, and the fans would have it no other way with the ball in Braylon Rayson's hand. Rayson to the cup, throws it up, no call, and the ball goes back to the Riptide. Let's see if they slow it down. Yes, they do. Brent Arrington. And there's a foul up top. They have fouls to give, the Sudbury 5 do. So 26 seconds left in the game clock, 17 on the shot clock. And the ball will go out of bounds. Riptide ball 101, 101. Inbounding the ball is Jeremiah Morty, gets it up once again to Brent Arrington, spin move. He gets the foul and one. Big play. Brent Arrington down the stretch has been massive for this Riptide squad.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a travel on that one, but it was the Riptide. They can't hang their heads on today. We don't know whether they're going to win this or not, but they're playing excellent. It doesn't look like an 0-5 team to me.
Yeah, they came to play for sure. They've stuck with this lineup for the most part in the second half, and boy, it has worked. The 5 led through the first quarter, the second quarter, and that 3-point. And Logan Stutz a little bit upset there. You see him at half. He wants the timeout, and he does eventually get it. So with 25.2 seconds left to go in this game, they're going to draw. What do you go with on this? Do you go quick score, or do you wait and you go for 3 for the tie?
Well, with 25 seconds left, you know, you're down. You got to go for the quick score, but at the same time, you don't want to force anything. So it's a good thing that Coach Stutz called a timeout here, so he can set up the play he wants to play. And then if they go for the 2, well, then you got to foul quick because the time on the clock will be under 24 seconds. So, but I'm guessing with the Sudbury 5, I'm guessing with their 3-point shooting, they might just go for the tie here.
Yeah, you know, you go for that quick 2, and then we talked about having Randy Phillips out there for the Riptide missing a couple free throws. There's an option if you can try and force the ball into his hands to get him to the free throw line. You're still going to have, you know, you got 2 fouls to get into that bonus. But if the 3 is there, I think you take it because of the way that, you know, Braylon Rayson has been shooting, Jalen Bland has been shooting. If those 2 players are open, you go with the 3 for tie. If not, you're looking for something, a quick 2. If you can get a drive and kick out to one of those 2 players, sure.
Yeah, you got to trust your best players, especially in these kind of crucial moments. And with those 2 being such offensive powerhouses, if the 3's there for them, they're going to take it. And at the same time, they're so smart that if it's not there, if they're being overplayed, they're going to drive, get the layup, or kick it out to an open man.
You take what the defense gives you as well. The main thing is you need a score. It doesn't matter if it's a 2 or a 3,
Exactly.
You do need a score. So get points up on the board. A foul sends you to the line as well, so the Riptide can't play a foul game. And so Relaford inbounding the ball. He's out there with Grandy Glaze, Cory Dixon, Jalen Bland, and Braylon Rayson. Relaford with the ball. Couple screens come. It's in the corner to Rayson. Rayson, the quick 3, puts it up. The ball comes back, and there's going to be free throws shooting. And it's Cory Dixon who's held down by one of the Riptide players. It looks like number 1, Daniel Dingle. So Cory Dixon, who's at about 50% on the evening from the free throw line, gets 2 huge free throw opportunities.
I'm confident in Dixon here. He's been to the line, I think this will be his 7th and 8th time in the 4th quarter. So if anyone's going to be hot from the free throw line, it should be Dixon.
And the first one, just as you said, good for Cory Dixon, going for number 2. This will make it a 1-point game, and then you play the foul game with under 24 seconds left to go in the game, unless you can get a big rebound. And foul. So Dixon makes 1 of 2. You're going to need Jeremiah Morty, who's been good down the stretch, along with Brent Arrington, to miss a couple, but that's going to only, that'll be the 6th foul. So the 5 will have to foul 1 more time. And the Riptide are going to hide Randy Phillips as far away from this play as absolutely possible. He's well off your screen in the corner, trying to get the ball into the hands of Daniel Dingle. And that one is going to be a foul call, and Frank Bartley heads to the free throw line for the Riptide. And Bartley, up until the 4th quarter, was 1 for 3 from the free throw line. So we'll see what he does in clutch time. It's Frank Bartley, 16.2 seconds left to go, 2-point game. A big free throw there.
The crowd's doing everything they can to force a miss here.
Bartley, number 2, knocks them down, both of them in, and it's a 2-possession game for the Riptide with 16.2 and another timeout.
I think at this point, down 4, you kind of have to go for the 3 now.
You're only going to get so many possessions left with 16.2. Race in the quick 3 on the last possession, and they're going to draw something up. Rayson or Bland, who do you think they go with?
I would think Bland at this point, having Rayson have taken the last one, but I also wouldn't mind Relaford taking the shot, depending on how the defense is playing them. But yeah, really big possession right here. You pretty much, if you don't score on this one, it's almost impossible to come back from.
So you got your rebounds out there. They're going to be crashing the offensive glass. They've done a really good job on the offensive boards, nearly getting one on that Braylon Rayson. They picked up the foul call on the Braylon Rayson 3. So they've done a really good job on the offensive glass. We've got to get a little bit better of a look out of this, timeout than the one that they got for Rayson, although he's hit some tough shots tonight as well.
Yeah, but even shooting a 3-pointer, ideally you'd like to get your player with the ball at the top of the 3-point line. Down in the corners there where you can get trapped, it's always It's always an iffy spot to bring the ball at this late in the game.
And so the Riptide planning on defense as well. Relaford inbounding the ball. Relaford looking for something. He's got to get the ball in somewhere. Dixon. Nice and easy. They didn't give up the foul. Now you got to foul the other way. They're going to try and call a timeout. They get it in to Jeremiah Morty. And the foul call, so Jeremiah Morty will be heading to the free throw line.
Yeah, we're hoping he goes 1 for 2 on this one. That would make it a 3-point game. And at that point, if it's 3, you can still do the 2 for 1 with roughly 14 seconds left.
A great job at getting something quick. Relaford with his eyes up, looking at, you didn't have that first option. You didn't have that second option. You find that little pass in that little window to Cory Dixon, who does a great job using his body and sitting down, throwing down the dunk to get it a 2-point game. It's now a 3-point game as Jeremiah Morty makes it a 3-point game. 13.8 seconds left to go in this game. And the second shot coming and the crowd getting into it. Second one is out. It's a 3-point game. And Relaford has it. Trying to find someone. Bland, he's open. Shot goes up and he ties it. 5-4-3, baby. Jalen Bland, 5.6 seconds left. And the horn is going off. They're going to let this one play. Frank Bartley, the shot. It goes up and out, and we're going to go to overtime, baby. Unreal effort there.
And going to overtime is great because the home team usually has an advantage whenever it happens to be overtime.
And so a weird play there as we get a look at it, just absolutely beautiful. It was a scramble play, and Jalen Bland, who has been so huge, gets the look he wants. That's too open for Jalen Bland, and he knocks it down. Babe, what a big shot that was. But then a weird play because the horn sounded for way too long of a time. And so that kind of, you feel bad a little bit for the Riptide because they're hesitant, right? They have 5 seconds left, they're hesitant. And then they have to continue to play. So they don't get the shot off that they would have liked because, you're spending 2-3 seconds in the backcourt. So nonetheless, both teams have equal opportunity heading into overtime. This one, crazy down the stretch. Big plays from Braylon Rayson and a absolute clutch shot from Jalen Bland.
Yeah, it's only the 3rd game, so as for the buzzer going off, it happened to us earlier as well in the game. I believe it was in the 2nd quarter where we came down on offense and the buzzer started sounding, so we stopped playing and they stole the ball. So in my books, that's 1 for 1. That equals it out.
And you see, Logan Stutz, head coach Logan Stutz, a little bit upset with the scorers table a few times, trying to call a timeout. And I think what happened, and if this is the case, they should have been called a technical, but if one team was trying to call a timeout and they didn't have timeouts.
Yeah, exactly, and we saw that down there on the baseline. There was one of the Riptide's players trying to call a timeout, and the ref wouldn't give it to him, so I'm not sure if that rule does apply.
So we're going to have a jump ball. It's overtime here in Greater Sudbury, 107-107. We said, it's a little bit of a lower scoring game, but we're going to bring that up into the 110s and beyond in overtime. And so we're going to get up back to normal. Cory Dixon taking the jump, along with Randy Phillips. And apparently no jump.
Looks like they're going with the possession arrow, I guess.
I think fresh. So the timeouts that the teams had in the 4th quarter, they carry over into overtime. And 5 minutes up on the clock. Possession first to the Riptide. Marvin Binney all the way to the cup. Missed. And
Squeeze that
Jalen
ball.
Bland, he's going to get fouled by Marvin Binney. And a scramble comes out in the Sudbury 5 favor.
Does bonus carry over to overtime as well? Nick?
Yes, so 7 shots or 7 fouls are still on the scoreboard for both teams, meaning any foul on either team will result in free throws. So we could get a little bit of a slower overtime with the amount of fouls that have been happening in that fourth quarter. And then
Yeah, it seems like the game plan is going to be the same here. We're going to want to drive as much as possible, but I'm sure the other team is aware of that as well, so they're going to be doing the same thing.
Jalen Bland, first free throw is good, number 2. That one also falls. It's a 2-point game. Subs come in. That's huge for Sudbury because of the foul where it came on the court. And here we go where these Riptide possession. It's Kemiazi. It was big in the third quarter. Kemiazi to Frank Bartley. Frank Bartley on Grandy Glaze. And a foul is called. Frank Bartley will shoot 2. And Grandy Glaze probably came up a little bit too high to play. I understand what Glaze is doing, that intensity, but coming out on that guard high, Bartley able to make that one move and go by.
Yeah, he instead of sloughing off a bit, he really got up and challenged him there. And I appreciate the intensity, but as you said, it might be better at that point to slough off a bit.
Bartley, the first free throw is good. He missed a huge free throw down the stretch to leave it at a 3-point game, allowing Jalen Bland to hit a huge 3 with 5.6 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and he makes just 1 of 2, and it's still a 1-point lead for the Sudbury 5 in their possession. Braylon Rayson gets it to Dixon. Dixon has a clear lane down low. Grandy Glaze with 5 on the clock. He's got to put something up. Rayson, the long shot. Rayson does get a rim at least, and Relaford got a hand on it, but it will go back to the Riptide.
I'm not even sure how Rayson got that shot off. He wasn't put in the best position there, but late in the shot clock, he had to shoot it.
Those are the kind of possessions you don't want in overtime, where each time you have the ball is just so key. Here's Bartley going to the free throw line again as he's fouled. Cory Dixon takes him down.
Relaford not too happy with that call there, but he definitely was playing a bit aggressive on defense. I think he got bumped by Glaze, actually.
So the Riptide going with quick subs, bringing in Jeremiah Morty. And Frank Bartley at the free throw line was 1 of 2 in the last 2 very clutch opportunities. He had made the first one last time, missed the second, so we'll see what the result is here. Frank Bartley. The Louisiana University graduate also playing at BYU. The second one is good. That gives the Riptide a 1-point lead. 3:33 left to go here in the overtime period. And Braylon Rayson gets it to Bland. He's got a shot. Bland, that one just goes short. And Frank Bartley, a big rebound. So only one winner in basketball. We play till there's one team ahead at the end of the shot clock, the game clock. Frank Bartley misses that one. And Relaford with the rebound gets it to Jalen Bland. 2 screens come up. It's Dixon and Grandy Glaze. Bland drops it off for Glaze. Glaze going inside, gets it to Relaford. Relaford throws it up, nothing doing there. Good defense on the Riptide part. And they'll slow it down a little bit. Jeremiah Morty. Morty has a lane, also has Phillips. Morty is double teamed, gets it to Frank Bartley. Bartley to Marvin Binney. Binney up top has Glaze on him. on the switch, takes it all the way to the cup, is long on the layup. And Jalen Bland, the rebound, he's got a nice double-double tonight. Braylon Rayson going to the cup, trying to find Bland in the corner, goes off the hand of Jeremiah Morty.
Great idea there, though. Driving and kicking to the corner for the three. The player wasn't even looking. He just happened to hit it by being lucky, really.
It's Cory Dixon now after the inbound from Braylon Rayson. Gets it to Grandy Glaze up top. 6 on the shot clock, poked away. It'll still be 5 ball, but you only have 3 seconds left on the shot clock, so you need something quick. And Relaford wide open, defensive miscue. That one well long, and back the other way. Phillips has to hold down Morty, gets it to Frank Bartley. A scramble play, they're just gonna slow it down. 2 straight possessions for Sudbury though, where you're at the end of the shot clock getting off not the best look, we'll say.
Yeah, they might be thinking a bit too much out there rather than just playing off instincts.
And Daniel Dingle for sure plays off instincts there as he gets the 2 to fall. Long 3 from Braylon Rayson. They get the rebound. Rayson, he's gonna get called for a travel there. And in a 3-point game with 1:27 left to go, the 5 turn it over back to the Riptide.
As a player, you always hate that feeling. You get the ball and you're going up to pass it, but then all of a sudden the person's not open, so then you come down with the ball and we get the turnover.
Once again, the Riptide slowing it down. It's Marvin Binney up top, waiting for a screen from Daniel Dingle. Gets it to Dingle, who has Glaze on him. In-out move, Dingle going to the cup. That one missed. Phillips. It goes off of the Sudbury 5 and a fresh shot clock. That's big. Fresh 24, they'll reset it to 14. But another full possession. They're gonna have a discussion. I'm thinking whether or not any team had a possession to see if they'll reset the shot clock. Yes, they do, to a fresh 24.
Yeah, I thought it hit the rim there on that shot too. That is the correct call.
Out to Phillips. Phillips gets it to Marvin Binney. Binney being guarded by Braylon Rayson. Binney gets the screen from Daniel Dingle. Dingle to the basket. His shot does not go. Big rebound there. Bland has an opening. Bland knocked down, and we're gonna have a foul against Marvin Binney, and Bland heads to the free throw line.
It's another one of those instances where I just don't understand why the ref that was 3 feet in front of him didn't make the call. It was one chasing from behind him, still around half court. But a very clear foul.
Bland at the free throw line. Knocks down number 1. Can make this a 1-point game with 44.1 seconds left to go. He does, he knocks it down, so a 1-possession, 1-point game with 43 seconds left to go. And the possession with the Riptide. It's been close all game. Bland, the big bucket to get us into overtime. And Dingle with the floater, rattles in. And a 3-point game with 30 seconds left. Bland off a double screen, gets it over to Rayson. Rayson takes the 3, that one. Big board there by Dixon, and a nice job to poke it free. It's Phillips, and they're gonna need to foul.
You got a foul right now.
And the pass, great job by the Riptide to move it around and kill all kinds of time off the clock. And finally, Jeremiah Morty is fouled, but almost 15 seconds go off the clock in a 3-point game, 6.4 left. And they're gonna need a little bit of help from the Riptide if the 5 want to pull this one out. Morty to the free throw line for 2. Can make this a 5-point game.
Yeah, the Riptide really came to play. They just did an excellent job there on keeping the ball away from the 5.
We said it before the game, you know, it's a league, a professional league where both teams have professionals, so anyone can beat anyone on any given night. You can't take an 0-5 team lightly, and that's not what the 5 did coming into this game. They played hard, but the Riptide just a little bit harder.
Yeah, and Jeremiah, he made a smart decision there. They had already taken 16 seconds off the clock. He could have swung it, but for them, the open man was Randy Phillips. So he knew he's got a better chance at making these 2 free throws.
And Jeremiah Morty misses one. Gonna need a little bit more help from the basketball gods and the Sudbury 5 faithful.
Pressure situation.
The second shot from Morty. All of his players are back on the defensive end. And Logan Stutz is going to take a timeout. They'll be able to advance the ball into the front court. You got to get something quick here. 6.4 seconds left to play. It's a 4-point game after the free throw by Morty is hit.
As you mentioned, that's why it's so important to make sure you have timeouts in these situations. The ability to advance the ball over the half court here is going to save roughly 3 seconds of time. And with 6 seconds left on the clock, that's absolutely huge.
So Jalen Bland with a huge 3 to get us into overtime to force that extra period. What does the Sudbury 5 have left? Logan Stutz and the coaching staff will be drawing something up right now to get a quick 3, likely to Bland or Rayson. And then you got to hope it, you know, they get off the 3 in about 2 seconds. And then you got to get another quick foul. There's a lot that needs to happen for the 5 to win this game, but not out of the question.
No, certainly not. It's definitely not over. And I mean, with the defensive pressure, if we do hit a 3 here, then it's a 1-point game. So what we're looking for is an immediate foul on the inbound. Ideally, you'd like it if you can deny enough to get them to take the whole 5 seconds on the inbound, so it'd be a turnover on them. But as long as they foul immediately, they can hit 2. It's still a 3-point game, and there's still time on the clock.
Gilligan will inbound. Bland coming off a couple of screens. There's Rayson as well. They get it into Bland. He's got to get it off. The 3 goes up, and it's no good. Time will run down. The 5 will let the clock play out. And the Sudbury 5 lose their first game at home on this season. They fold a 2-1, 4-2 overall. And so the Sudbury 5, they come into this one, you know, 3rd in the power rankings, and the Riptide come in with a lot of guts, a lot of heart, and they're able to pull this one out.
Yeah, you know, they played really well tonight, and a lot of the times that's the case. When a team has lost their first 5 games, they haven't got that win yet, they're going to fight harder than anyone ever to get that win, and that's what ended up happening tonight.
And they found a lineup combination that worked for them down the stretch. They really started to take over in that 3rd quarter and into the 4th quarter. The Sudbury 5 made it exciting for the fans. They were able to get back in it, force overtime, had every chance and every opportunity to win this game, but the Riptide just ended up playing better. Now the Sudbury 5, they have a quick turnaround because they play on Sunday against the Windsor Express. What do you want to see from them coming out on Sunday?
Kind of pretty much the same thing they've been doing. You know, their defense has been incredibly well. They've been really gritty, and their shots just weren't falling tonight. And, you know, as long as on Sunday we come out and we're getting the same looks, then I expect we can get the win.
And the Sudbury 5, a lot of the looks in the first half, at least for Jalen Bland, were very contested. They were able to get some shots up, just not hitting the way that we've been used to seeing them. The Sudbury 5 fall to 4-2 on the season. The Riptide move to 1-5. We'll be back on Sunday with more Sudbury 5 action. It's the Windsor Express Sudbury 5 right here in Greater Sudbury.